How's everybody doing? I'm just kicking back, playing some KSP, watching some videos, having a good time. Let's do it.
Idol John Cena, never imagining she would meet him face to face.
Oh. Little wholesome stuff to start us off.
However, nothing compares to the way Johnny Depp pulled off a wholesome surprise for Disneyland riders as Captain Jack Sparrow pretending to be an animatronic robot.
That's a robot, bro. Everybody drop your weapons and put your hands up! I've been expecting you for hours! Oh my god! Oh my god! Ah! Ah! Oh! Oh! So do I. Bring it. Does the sword make my bum look big?
Yes!
Naughty!
Some surprises are purely unintentional.
Playing has such an impact. Watch the girl on the right. She had no idea that's who was going to plop down next.
Some encounters are just pure fun. Billie Eilish decided to sneak up behind two fans who were completely absorbed in a dancing video game set to her own hit song. Even a simple jog can turn into a viral moment, like when Tom Hanks was running through Central Park and stopped to congratulate a newlywed couple during their photo shoot.
By all means. We're going to do that right here. What's your name? Elizabeth, my daughter's name. What's your name? Ryan. Ryan, you're a lucky man. Elizabeth, you've done well for yourself. You're looking up? Oh, wait a minute, get good. Okay, so Elizabeth and...
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I'm feeling
What is that?
Nice. Hey, I love your t-shirt.
Thank you.
Is it Team Awesome? Who's on your shirt? You got Iron Man?
That's you.
That's me.
Yeah.
And speaking of dreams coming true, fan favorite Tanner from Love on the Spectrum had one simple wish. He just wanted to meet Jack Black.
What's up, Tanner? Cannot wait to meet you in person. But I'm on the road with a Minecraft movie right now. But luckily, I have insane ninja kung fu powers, which means I can come through these doors and I'm gonna see you right now when I come through these doors.
Thank you so much, Miss Kelly. Miss Kelly, thank you so much. This is the best day of my life.
I love it.
On a more spontaneous surprise of all, two random UFC fans were impersonating fighter Conor McGregor on the streets of Dublin when a driver rolled down his window and called them over for the surprise of a lifetime. And speaking of unexpected guests, a blindfolded Steve had to guess the identities of his special celebrity visitors, Ice Cube and Kevin Hart, who were there to give him a hilarious surprise.
I need a hint.
Hey man, you've always been an important guy to me.
Okay, give me another clue. I'm one of the coolest dudes ever. I'm one of the coolest dudes ever. Wait a minute.
Pharrell Williams arranged an unforgettable moment for a devoted fan after she raised thousands for charity following her father's death from brain cancer.
I think it's about time we went and met Holly. Okay. surprise.
These next fans had no clue that the real Spider-Man star, Tom Holland, was the one behind the mask.
That's awesome! Holy cow!
Jennifer Aniston pulled off a hilarious prank by hiding behind the iconic orange couch on the Friends set, popping out to surprise fans during their studio tour.
Friends here at Warner Brothers Studio Tour Hollywood. This is the real set. Just sit right here, all for you. Who is your favorite friend?
I would say Ross.
But look right over here.
Man, this thing's getting copyrighted left and right.
Sometimes a surprise arrives exactly when it's needed most. Ed Sheeran gave a deserving couple a wedding gift they'll never forget.
Because your lovely partner Kaya has been going through a really, really difficult time.
Kaya's mum unfortunately took her own life. It was a very difficult circumstance.
So we wanted to make your first dance a little bit more special today.
That's right.
So we're going to leave you with a little wedding singer that we organised, and we hope you enjoy, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first dance as husband and wife. Bring in the wedding singer, please. Here he is.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Yet Ben Affleck took an even more immersive approach by hiding inside the actual Batmobile during a Warner Bros. Studio tour to give unsuspecting fans the shock of a lifetime.
Who do you think would actually win in a fight, Batman or Superman? Superman?
Who says Superman?
That's unbelievable. How you doing?
Now everyone's how you doing. Before it was Superman.
I am real.
How do you drive the Batmobile? Superman doesn't even have a cool car to put.
Yet few are as dedicated to surprising his fans as Johnny Depp, who often dresses as Captain Jack Sparrow and shows up unannounced at children's hospitals.
Your name's Miranda, is it?
Yes.
So's mine. Let's get down to brass tacks. I have this. I'm gonna guess that you're a very patient I don't know if you're sick. It's like a hiccup, only it's the sound of a chicken hiccup they make. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
Me neither. That's us. We're stuck that way, you and me, sensitive touch.
Hola.
You can go up. No.
Ola, we've come to take you to the rooms. Thank you.
Hello.
That's Scrum.
Hello. Lovely to meet you.
He's filthy.
No, I'm not.
Yet some of the most memorable surprises are the simplest. When trick-or-treaters knocked on a decorated front door on Halloween, singer Olivia Rodrigo answered, leaving the kids in pure disbelief at coming face-to-face with their favorite artist.
Hi, guys. Hey, do you guys have a favorite singer?
Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah? Well, that's a good answer. Happy Halloween! Thanks for saying that. You made my day. Want some candy? Sure. Let's do it. Sir, are you having a stroke?
Drake took disguise to a whole new level when he went undercover on Jimmy Kimmel with a wig and glasses to interview fans about himself on Hollywood Boulevard.
Good question. What would you say to Drake if Drake was here right now?
If Drake was here right now?
If Drake was here right now.
I probably would freak out and ask him if I could get a picture with him.
Really? Are you a Drake fan?
Definitely.
What's your favorite Drake song right now? Let's hear it.
Right. Am I allowed to cuss?
Sure.
Oh, I go to sleep with a suitcase. And, oh my God.
But when it comes to surprising his fans, John Cena never disappoints. He teamed up with Cricket Wireless to give a young superfan a memory of a lifetime.
I
Cena. I like every single time he wrestles any single person that's in the WWE. He is amazing. I would risk a limb to meet John Cena.
If John Cena was here right in front of you, what would you do?
I would be yelling, John Cena, John Cena, John Cena!
If you make the three-point shot, you win $25,000. All right. So I asked someone to help you out, so you wouldn't just get one hug if you miss. You'll get 2 hugs. Please welcome Kobe Bryant.
Side.
But nothing tops the moment when this groom organized a surprise for the bride with her all-time favorite country singer, Mark Wills, after she thought her first dance was ruined.
Oh my God.
How's the tour going? Good? I just wanted to see if anyone wanted to take a spin in the Batmobile. Yeah. How about you? You want to take a spin? Come on. Yeah. I saw you before first. Come on over here.
But some surprises are truly life-changing. When Dwayne Johnson heard about UFC fighter Themba Gorimbo, who used all his fight earnings to build a water well for his village in Zimbabwe, leaving him with just $7.49 and sleeping on a Miami gym couch, The Rock showed up in person to hand him the keys to a fully furnished home, bringing Themba to tears.
A message from one of the guys from the management is like, "Did you see your Twitter?" Then I said, "What you mean?" Then I say, and then I look up and I see, oh, it's The Rock who wrote to me and say X, Y, Z. And I was like, what the hell, what's this? Yeah, it's a blessing, you know. I just feel like, you know, it's the life we live, man. Oh my
God. What's up, brother? Good to finally meet you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Oh, no, look, bro.
You inspired me to work hard, man. Thank you.
A few moments later.
Got a lot of people. Yo, Jay. Me too. Look at those pictures over there. Isn't that cool?
I saw like Sadio Mane. It's my family. Oh my God.
So hey, I wanted to bring you here. So Themba, I don't know anybody who lives here. I wanted to come here. I wanted to bring you here. I wanted to look you in the eye, and I wanted to tell you, welcome home.
Celebrities surprising their fans. I love that stuff. But it's about to end though. So.
Oh my God, thank you.
Would you say, love?
I'm glad people got a dose of wholesomeness.
Oh yeah, you gotta get a little wholesome.
Deserve it.
Oh. Thank you so much. Thank you, brother. Man, thank you. Thank you.
That's fun. All right, what's next? Yo, what up, neighbor?
As we've been covering, there's I'd describe him as a right-wing influencer. All of his followers are right-wing, and you officially get that label whenever you hang out with, in one bus, Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, and whoever that other guy was, and then you start playing a song that says Hail Hitler over and over. But then Clavicular, who I'm talking about, who's a part of this bunch, likes to go, I'm not really into politics. That was more of a culturally Hail Hitler, not like a political one.
So now I went to Green I saw about that. Honestly,
so
though,
he tries to say I'm not into politics. So then he gets really annoyed when he's asked about his political associations, because he's saying, I'm just trying to espouse the gospel of looks maxing. And that's what he's really getting well known for, is like taking crystal meth and all these steroids and then smashing his face to try to look as ideal as he can, and meanwhile he's smashing every ounce of charisma and personality out of his body, which is a little bit important too for dating, by the way. Okay, so he did an interview with 60 Minutes Australia. Okay, there's other better people you can interview, 60 Minutes Australia. And it didn't go well. He ended up storming out of the interview when asked about, are you associated with the incel red pill community?
Was born out of the incel community and movement. And do you identify with that group? How do you feel about being linked to that group of people?
Do I identify as an incel? I mean, how could you ask me that question as a follow-up after you asked me about my relationship?
It was pretty clear, by the way, as I was watching this interview, that he's definitely drugged out right now. Like, very drug infused. Which is not a shocker. That's kind of his whole thing. But
You guys you need to be professional, man. This is why you're still flying RJ. It was funny the first 5 minutes. It's a pretty big Ritalin dose you missed. You guys you need to be professional, man.
That's so weird.
he was really struggling to get through sentences.
Relationships to women. I mean, that's quite literally the worst sequence of questions I think I've ever heard.
Well, let me rephrase it then. Looks maxing was obviously a term created by the incel community. How do you feel about being linked to that group?
I'm not linked to that group in any way. Looks maxing is self-improvement, right? So it's about potentially even ascending out of that category. And so that would be kind of one of the goals, is to disassociate from being in.
And he looks like he's about to cry the whole interview. It's about you sitting out of that community. I'm freaking mocking you right now.
And so, and overcome that. So that doesn't make sense.
Quickest pause to request that you click the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. It's completely free, and it's the simplest way to support the work that we do. Right below the video, click that subscribe button, and then also, whatever you're thinking or some random statement, drop it in the comments. That helps algorithmically, and click the like button. Back to the video.
You also maintain, well, you've been seen with certain people who are from all parts of that world. I mean, just as an example, you've obviously shared company with Andrew Tate and other, dare I say, rather controversial figures.
Nazis would be a term for it. Like, you know, when they were literally doing the Sieg Heil, the whole drive. Like, that would be a term for what you're thinking of. Okay. By the way, this guy, one of the commentaries online was, it's funny because what Clavicular, his name that he goes by, likes to do in these interviews is be like, everything's just about how hot you look and mogging everyone and frame mogging and face mogging and penis mogging and you know what I mean? But this interviewer from, I couldn't find his name. I didn't try to look that hard, but it wasn't in the description, so I gave up. From 60 Minutes Australia is, by every definition of the term, mogging. Clavicular. And I hate to go there and use those terms and feel like an idiot, but I'm just telling you, to use the speak they use in this interview, he is. And he does this sort of, he does this sort of like, okay, well then I'll follow up with, and it's so, that's a man, right? Whereas Clav's just a boy.
It's
Put it right to your mouth.
It's super. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this kind of mic. It's super unfortunate because, like you said, he is absolutely getting mogged by this man, and I think that's why he is so like deadpan. On top of being on the drug, he can't let the audience see his cortisol spike because he's not alpha male.
Stop!
Enough.
This is too many buzzwords. Please stop. Okay, let's go. What?
No, I'm just saying at the end of the day, he looks like him and the reporter could be like the same age because of all the stuff is like aged him so bad. He's like he's way younger than you, and he looks like he could be like a college senior when you were like a freshman. Like that looks like the age gap you guys have. It's insane.
Huh. Wow. Thank you. And this is Natty, in case any speculation.
Why do you spend time with people like that?
Are you trying to? I see you want to make this political.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just curious.
No, that's what you want to do. Is
no.
You know you have.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm not.
You want to end it and talk about.
I'm just curious. No, not at all. I don't care about your politics. I know you're not political. You've said that repeatedly. I'm just, when you get seen with those people, obviously people make assumptions. I'm wondering what the thought process and motivation for you is behind.
Interview. I guess you watched the Piers interview.
I did, yeah.
Too bad I didn't have time to look into, anything about potentially, who your wife cheated with. But don't try to go down that line of questioning with me, all right? Because I'm not doing any political.
I'm not married, Clive, but I was simply only asking because obviously you've been filming with these people.
So I could teach you about looks max, and then maybe you could switch that up. But thanks for the time. Appreciate the interview. Wow. All right. All right. Got that done. Thank you, guys.
Guys, this I need to. Could you find this guy's name by any chance? Did someone put in the chat?
I think someone put it in the chat.
If you could find it, because he is nailing this. Because everyone else will do, like Piers Morgan, kind of will go, yeah.
Adam Hegarty.
Okay, well, let's go with Adam.
Well, good
I hope that's his name. Otherwise, this is going to be weird. Adam brought what you have to bring to an interview like this. Because he has in his eyes a certain level of judgment. Like, oh, kid, you don't know how foolish you look. But then at the same time, I don't want to use that term again, but he's like, charisma, the charisma's reverberating from the interviewer, Adam. And so then clearly that's why Clav stormed out, because he's so uncomfortable that a guy who doesn't obsess every day about his looks is obviously more charismatic, more likable, and has a more attractive energy than Clav, who can barely get through a sentence and can't answer a question about his politics. You can say, I love how he says, I don't want to get political. You were doing the Hail Hitler song. You got political, bubs. Okay, but from henceforth, I don't want to be political. After I hung out with people who literally praise Hitler, that's not like a euphemism, literally praise Hitler, and then we listened to that song, and a bunch of us were doing Sieg Heil. Now I don't want to be political from now on. I don't know if that's how that works, dude. Sorry. And then watch this one more time. We have more clips, by the way, from before he stormed out. Yes. But this is like the most iconic interview moment ever.
Just put in the bike lanes. And some people come.
Oh my God. Bro. Interface is dog shit.
A couple of people that got killed, and it was bear and killed it, a young bear. So I pulled over and I picked up the bear and put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear, and it was very good condition, and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator. And you can do that in New York State. You can get a bear tag for a roadkill bear. And so then we went hawking, and I had a bear in my car. And then we had a really good day, and we went late. We were catching a lot of game, and the people really loved it, so we stayed late. And instead of going back to my home in Westchester, I had to go right to the city because there was a dinner at Peter Luger's Steakhouse. And at the end of the dinner, it went late, and I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And the bear was in my car, and I didn't want to leave the bear in the car.
Oh my God. This story is so.
Because that would have been bad. So then I thought, you know, at that time, this was a little bit of the redneck in me. There'd been a series of bites.
I thought there was like something in it we missed. Oh my God. What the fuck is wrong with this dude? Yeah, that's yes.
Like, what note was he going to take? You don't have a note to take. He's like, check. Yes, Adam. That's so good. Okay, then we get to this. Wait, what is this one on? Well, we'll just see.
I've heard you describe yourself as infertile. Is that true?
I haven't officially been tested, but I've just been kind of going based on my anecdotal experiences. But yes, that is extremely likely due to the fact that I've been suppressed for a very long time because of my exogenous hormone usage.
Then why on earth is it worth it?
Well, first of all, that's honestly like a pretty mog side effect if you think about it.
You can't even look straight. That's so crazy. It's a MOG side effect. Kayla asked what? It's a MOG side effect.
Yeah,
side effects may include mogging.
A MOG side effect. Dude, Taylor is like so brain dead.
Use Clav hormones. Side effect may include explosive diarrhea, mogging, light headaches. Ask your doctor if mogging's right for you. Okay, so he says it's a MOG side effect to be infertile. What is all this for? You're doing things to your body that are increasing the likelihood you'll die so early. And then you might not be able to have kids, which a lot of this was about, like, we have to do what is attractive so that then, right? Well, maybe he's not a part of that group, but I thought all these people were like, then we get the women to make a bunch of babies with us. But then he's infertile.
See, Luke, that's where you're wrong. It's not about the women. It's about other men.
No, yeah.
No,
It's
I
not
know
a
clips
joke.
are
It's
really
that,
important.
to the point where his own fans get mad at him when he flirts with women. They got mad at him at the club incident because he was talking to girls and not learning from Andrew Tate, who was right there to give him the alpha male G. What is it? Cup G, whatever it is, cup G.
The alpha G spot? Oh, what?
The top G method.
Oh, the top G.
And
Sorry.
instead, he was talking to some dumb femoid or whatever they say.
What a waste of time. I do love whenever
side effect.
Oops, whenever some of these Andrew Tate types talk about relationships and they're like, see, no guy actually wants to hang out with women. They all just want to hang out with their boys. That's all we ever wanted. And you're like, really? I think a lot of guys do want to actually hang out with their partner, their female partner. Okay, here we go.
If you think about it, due to the fact that it's extremely easy to restart your fertility with fertility drugs like HMG and HCG.
Mogging. What do you mean by that?
In that context, I just mean it's awesome. It's good.
Well, you could say that. That's an option. Yeah, so I don't know if you should rely so much on being able to revamp your fertility. That's a long journey for a lot of people, and you can have a lot of struggles with it. And this is one of the flaws in his ideology, if you want to call it that, or whatever it is that he's espousing. A lot of it's very short-sighted, and this isn't a joke. Like Kayla said, there is this performance for what men think women want. but it really just turns into like a weird self-sexualizing narcissism. Wow. How has no one worded it that way? That's perfect. That's what it is. A self-sexualizing narcissism where instead of working on yourself, of course, and trying to be fit and improving your social skills and then going out and meeting people and just trust me, of course you can't look totally horrible, but like you work on yourself, you stay fit, blah, blah, but you don't fixate on every centimeter of your physical appearance and put some of that energy into being a person that is enjoyable and having fascinating interests. That is so much more high value in the dating market. It just is. And there's data on that. And so then for people like him, he espouses this and they just turn into like a person who's staring constantly at themselves in the mirror only for their own satisfaction. But they convinced themselves it was for women, but it never really was. It was about them and their boys being attracted to them, to each other, more to themselves, which is fine. Like if Clav wants to just date men and maybe the men will find this whole thing more attractive or whatever, okay, but there's something unhealthy about the fixation, and then it has drained in him every ounce of valuable personality. Like who would want to sit across the table? Now his followers will go, but I see him with hot girls all the time. It's like, yes, you know how easy it is if you have any audience to be like, hey, who wants to party, and then be on video, and then thousands of people will see you, and maybe that'll get your TikTok bigger. Easy, fine. But in terms of meaningful, deep relationships is what I'm talking about.
You could mog someone, and you could height mog them. You could be taller. So it typically means like outshining someone in some regard.
Are you mogging me right now?
Adam, you should be cast as Superman. You know what I mean? He's
this man is so handsome. Every time he pops up, he's just like giving like he's giving like blue steel. I'm like, oh my god, don't look like that, Adam. What are we doing? What are we?
I love it. This is Clavicular's nightmare. Look at him. Look at him smile. And again, the only reason we're not objectifying Adam, the only reason we're commenting on this is because this is Clav's whole world, where he feels like he's going to crush everyone visually. And then he sits down with some 60 Minutes Australia interview, and just with one, he gets crushed.
I disagree. I am objectifying Adam. I just wanted to throw that out there. And if anyone has his contact information, if you could just DM it to me, I would love that.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Okay.
Are you mugging me right now?
He is.
Well, in what metric?
Any.
Status mogging.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like I might be status mogging you, maybe. I don't know. You're fine. Like potentially, money mogging. Who's to say, right? I don't know. But like,
it sounds like a Cardi B song. Money mog. It's Cardi. And then Megan Thee Stallion jumps in. You think you money mog, but I got bags, fans, whatever the term is.
And he doesn't. He got decimated by a woman a couple months ago because he was bragging about how much money he was making. And he was like, I make like $4,000 a month. And she goes, that's it. And then he ended stream.
I think he makes more than that. Obviously, $4,000 is good, but if you're going around telling everyone you're the richest person ever, then that's not that doesn't live up to that slogan. But I think he makes more. I've heard he makes like $100,000 a month, but maybe he's lying. I don't know. Obviously, a lot of it has exploded in the last few months. Who cares? So dumb. I might be money mog. Money mog. I'm a frog. Ribbit, ribbit. Money mog. Like a frog. Ribbit, ribbit. Coming this spring, the new Cardi B album. Okay.
I don't know. You're fine. Like potentially, money mogging. Who's to say, right? I don't know. But like, you know, those are different types of mogs that you could achieve on someone. It doesn't only pertain to looks, right? So there's all types of mogs.
Well, your whole persona and shtick is about appearance and looks, right? So would you say your looks mogging me right now?
I can't really.
Are you saying that your looks mogging me right now? And then he gives the, what's that called when you give a
The blue steel.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a different phrase, but like
Smizing.
just this, whatever. I can't think of it.
Are your looks mogging me right now?
I can't really see you, to be fair. It's kind of hard with the light. The camera's quite far away, so I'll just give it to you.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see.
All right. Well, how about this? If I was to come to you for advice, which you give out readily, would you say that I need to do something to myself to ascend or live a better life?
Well, the issue is you're just giga far away on a laptop screen, so I wouldn't be able to really say.
Giga far away on a laptop.
This is sad. This is really sad. So I guess to give him the bit of the doubt, maybe they're making it look like an in-person interview, but it was really them both looking at a laptop and then they edited it together with nice cameras where it looks like a in-person interview, because I guess they didn't do a wide shot. So I think what he's saying is that the guy was on a laptop. But initially I was like, you can't see him? He's right there. And then he goes, I can't really see you well. And then it cuts to Adam and he goes, It's so good. This is the best thing ever. It's so much better than Piers being like, so what did you mean by I'm ugly? Because I'm hot to some women. You know that some women like an older, experienced gentleman like me, Clavicular. Do you know I've had a lot of sex in my life? It's like, Piers, stop. This is the first time I've seen a grown adult sit down with Clavicular and it not seem like they were trying to be one of the kids. You know what I mean? Like Piers was like, so I already gave you the invitation, but like did this whole thing and it was like, this is weird. You're like seeking his approval.
Yeah, it's pretty
whereas
sad
this
for
guy
Piers.
just
What is
stared
he
into
doing?
Clav's soul through the laptop and crushed him. So that's fun. But of course, work on yourself. I don't want to, anytime we criticize these, whatever category you put this guy in, but typically like the red pillars who often use as phase one, hey, you should, if you want to improve your life, you should work out, you should eat more healthy, you should be disciplined. And then you're like, oh, that's awesome. And then the next fold is, and also the reason is because now we live in a world where all women suck. And so we just have to look out for each other and you need to get really good biceps so that you can, your buddies. Right. Like it really quickly escalates. You're like, whoa, I thought this was a fitness channel. Now they're telling me about how everything's women's fault. But that makes me want to add the caveat that the first
They're just
tier of
fishing?
advice.
Her referral is literally to fish. Oh my god. This is pathetic, man.
Of make sure that you work hard to improve yourself is great. Everything else that becomes a source of narcissism for someone like him is the part I'm taking issue with.
Jeez, dude.
The Trump administration is an absolute free fall. The entire conservative movement is an absolute free fall after Donald Trump very clearly betrayed the American people. Not only are they spiraling in the polls, quite literally, Trump's approval rating is down among every single group, including working class white people without a college degree, which was historically his strongest demographic. He's now underwater 4 points. It's a 40-point drop. There has been a 45-point drop among people in my generation. So the polls are spiraling. Trump seems to be mentally declining very, very visibly and physically declining. While all of this is happening on the world stage, Hungary just lost their tyrant prime minister and elected a pro-democracy, more liberal prime minister. So Viktor Orban is out. Then we learned that Hungary and Viktor Orban were funding CPAC because that's how Viktor Orban operated in a very corrupt manner. He would fund these right-wing organizations. So CPAC is a conservative conference and a movement in America that is now going to be dissipated. So the MAGA movement is quite literally falling apart at the seams. And Mike and I are going to be talking about some of the recent news that's coming out. So Donald Trump just attacked the Pope again.
Yep.
The war with Iran seems to be sort of ramping up again as the Strait of Hormuz is still in a mess and the United States is blockading it. And it seems like the 25th Amendment is being pushed very hard as Trump melts down again. So make sure you drop a like. Make sure you drop a heart if you're on Substack. We live and we breathe and we build our teams based on independent media and based on you all. So if you want to help contribute and help Mike and I build our teams, subscribe to both of us below. You can become a free or paid subscriber. Mike, you want to take it off? Jump in anywhere you want. We got a lot to cover on this beautiful Wednesday.
I don't even know where the hell we start, but let's maybe talk about Trump's polling a little bit, because I think it's maybe the most interesting thing that I've seen, which is Trump is underwater with every group of people, including non-college educated white people, which is historically his base. And that erosion will destroy the Republican Party if it permeates out to the rest, and if Democrats are smart enough to engage with people and capitalize on it. Because when you look at the electoral map, when you look at the Senate map right now, it's hard for Democrats to take back the Senate. But if we win a state like Iowa, if we win a state like Ohio, that will mean that Democrats will take back the Senate, and that will give us the power to basically end Donald Trump's presidency overnight. He'll still be able to do executive actions. He'll still be able to control the military, but the oversight that we'll have, the accountability that we'll have, the ability to stop him from appointing judges or replace anybody on the Supreme Court makes a tremendous difference there. And so I think that that erosion might actually save American democracy. And you brought up the election in Hungary for a second, and then they booted out an autocrat in Viktor Orban, and we'll talk about him funding CPAC for a second, because I have a theory on that as well that I think is important. But they elected a man who's fairly conservative, but is obviously pro-democracy and much more liberal. I mean, again, being conservative in Europe is like the equivalent of being a moderate Democrat in the United States. But the coalition that was built that defeated Orban, like Orban would have rejected a close election result. It had to be too big to rig, to quote Miles, our friend Miles. And they built this coalition of liberals and conservatives and people on this issue and libertarians. And it was this wide coalition to the point where they have like control of 70% of the government right now. Like, it is a massive swing that allows them to rewrite the Constitution and create new protections on it. And I think that can happen here. I think if you're trying to make sense of this weird, goofy ass world that we live in, where Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes sometimes say things that make sense, like Trump is crazy and should be removed by the 25th Amendment, we may be able to build this big coalition. And I don't know if you saw Ro Khanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene were on CNN the other night talking about them creating a coalition on economic populism to try to help support the American people. And so I think we're in the midst of a transitive wave of change in American politics that we might not understand until later, that could deliver like a massive majority for the Democrats in 2028. If like they nominate J.D. Vance, we could see President John Ossoff with the same type of Senate majority that Barack Obama had in 2008, and a will and an understanding of power to execute on it at a tremendous level. And so a lot of people might be able to set aside our differences, as serious as they are. Like, look, I hate Nick Fuentes. He's a little shit weasel, sexist, neo-Nazi. But like, if his people want to vote for my people, I'll take that support right now, because we got to beat MAGA, and we got to beat Donald Trump, and we got to beat these guys like Viktor Orban, who are just not, they don't believe in democracy. They're not good human beings, and they are destroying this country.
Yeah, it is wild to see how quickly it is all falling apart. It feels like MAGA was just a sophisticated marketing scheme to rebrand the same old Republican Party and do the same old policies, but in a little bit more radical way, like cutting taxes for the rich, cutting benefits for the vulnerable, and then starting war with a country that begins with IRA, and then increasing the debt and causing a recession. It's like the same Republican playbook, but with just a little bit more sophisticated marketing, wrapped in populism, wrapped in the flag, and this idea that we're going to drain the swamp. Donald Trump has very quickly become the swamp, and people are realizing this. The young people, the people across the board who voted with a little bit of hope. I think a lot of young people, for example, in their formative years didn't remember how shitty Trump was during his first term, how deranged. So a lot of young people fell for it, and people are waking up. I got a DM from this Trump supporter troll. I'm not even joking
I heard
here.
about
This
this.
Trump supporter troll that has been in my replies for like years and always saying, oh, here's Mockler with more liberal propaganda, DM'd me and said, the Iran war has had him rethinking all of this. He said, after this war, it has quite literally hurt my ability to pay my bills. Gas prices are very high for him. He sent me this long thing. I read most of it and I said, hey man, this was very well said. Thank you for this. I was very genuine and I was accepting about it. I'm not going to, shit on this guy when he's in a moment where he's about to see the light. And I think many people are like this right now. I think the Iran war and Donald Trump's complete 180 on saying no new wars versus then starting a war that is inflicting like maximum damage on the American people's pocketbook is getting them very, very mad. And right when we think we're done with the war, we get pulled back into it. You know that quote from The Godfather 3? Right when I thought I was out of it, they pulled me back into it. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Donald Trump's like, we're negotiating in Islamabad. And then the next day he's like, actually, we're blockading the Strait of Hormuz now. Then the next day he's like, they're begging for a deal. Then the next day he said, they're not taking the negotiations seriously enough. It's like, okay, are they begging? Are they not taking it seriously enough? Complete contradictions with the Iran war. And I think it kind of translates downstream to all of the spiraling, pulling, and the dementia we've talked about. It's all a spider web. It's all intertwined. Our demented president is spiraling and pulling, so he's starting a war that's spiraling him more. It's awful.
Well, my friend Stephanie Miller says this all the time. It's like, it's just one scandal. There's just one scandal. There's just one story. It's not, it feels like a million, but when you pull the thread back, it's all the same stuff. I want to say something about your conversation with the MAGA guy who's in your comments, because I had a similar experience yesterday. So I came home after a long day's work. My son was at occupational therapy, and I sat on my back patio and I put the Cubs game on. And it was a beautiful day out. And it took me forever to get the Cubs game on. Like, I couldn't find which freaking streaming service it was on because it was all a joke. And I got
everybody your shirt, babe.
Oh my god. No, because there's been no Monday night jams.
Okay.
I protest.
mad. And I tweeted something that I'm going to run for president on a single issue of I should be able to watch the Cubs game with one streaming service.
I mean,
and I had this MAGA troll, this guy that's always shitting on me, go, I think you're a shit liberal, but I agree with everything you just said here. And I DM'd him. And then we started talking about it. And now we're building a little bit of an alignment on, hey, we're all getting fucked in this economy right now. Like the way that these corporations are taking advantage of us. And like, I should not need YouTube TV and Hulu and Marquee and Amazon Prime to be able to watch the Cubs. Like, I just should not need that. And he was kind of into it, and I was like, all right, that's a little bit of a connection, right? And I think if you're out there and you've got a parent, like I have two parents that voted for Donald Trump all 3 times. Although my mom might not have voted for him in 2020. I don't know if she voted or not. But like, I've got family members, I've got friends, I've got college buddies, I've got neighbors that voted for Donald Trump. If you've been waiting for your opportunity to talk to them, this is that moment right now. And I know a lot of people will say, I don't want to have to be the one to go talk to them. They should come talk to me. They're not going to admit that they were wrong. You got to create the glide path for them. And if you want to moderate American politics, elect a Democratic president, get people back to a place of love and reason and understanding of one another, we got to go engage. And I think this is the time to do it. Don't lecture, just listen, talk, have a conversation, because people are pissed about the war, pissed about gas prices, pissed about the corruption, pissed about the president of the United States posting an image of himself as Jesus. Although if you listen to him, he's a doctor with glowy hands and flowy robes. I think this is a moment to engage in a way that we haven't seen before. And let's not fall into that trap of being like, right. Like you're not married, Adam, I'm married. Like if you've ever like been in a marital argument where you were right, if you act like a smug asshole, you're still wrong. And you'd rather handle it in a way that Brene Brown has a quote that's like, would you rather get it right or be right? And there's getting it right. And getting it right is important right now because we can moderate this country. And I'm not saying moderate in that like moderate centrist bullshit thing. I'm saying like get people away from MAGA. Bring them back to the real world.
Something that you and I both embody in our debates very intentionally is not being a smug asshole, is trying to get our point across. And I think this is an important moment to push back against people, but don't lecture and be an asshole. On your streaming services point, very quickly as an aside, it's interesting because there used to be just a few channels on the TV. And then it expanded to all these channels. Like,
they're desperate. It makes sense.
It was flirty. That was flirty.
And that was about what year was it?
I mean, that was through. We've heard that. We've heard that throughout.
Senator, you just said. Thank you so much. I want to clarify because in the beginning,
I know we'll go back there. Yeah.
In the beginning, you said when you first heard these rumors a few weeks ago, that's when you called him. Then you said you've heard these rumors for years. So which one is it, Senator?
So I heard rumors of him being flirty.
And that wasn't an issue enough for you to not trust him to watch your kids or be close with him?
Because you hear this, and then when you're close to somebody, and you know his wife, you see this. You see that relationship.
All out right
you
now.
know
That's
that it maybe just isn't true.
Have you asked him about it prior to this few weeks?
I asked him about it a few weeks ago when it started coming up online. Yes. Yes.
What were the
it was flirty. That was flirty.
And that was when? What year was it?
I mean, that was through. We've heard that. We've heard that throughout.
Senator, you just said. Thank you so much. I want to clarify.
I love how ready they are to go after any Democrats who do anything fucked up. But Donald Trump is literally the fucking president.
Sucking daddy.
Just wild to me. So wild, bro. That's true, Cinderella. Good point. I didn't even think about that. Cinderella's got it figured out. You should just say he grabbed him by the pussy and then it'll all be alright. Good thinking, buddy.
Wow.
Bro, meanwhile, you're gonna defend Trump when he's literally been found liable for sexual assault in a court. Fuck you, Shannon Hill.
hundreds of channels you had to buy, so people were like, F this. I like how Netflix is just consolidated into one streaming package. I'm canceling this and I'm just going to Netflix to watch everything.
Yep.
Then as that migration happened, it turned into Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and now we're running full circle back into the same problem of a bunch of channels. But that's kind of besides the point.
Well, they also can I just say though, because they told us when we were doing this, we're moving to the streaming service platform. There's like, you're not going to have any ads. You're going to pay a little fee, and you'll pay less money than with a cable streaming service. They all have ads now. Okay.
Yeah.
When I log into HBO Max to watch, I really like Rooster, the new Steve Carell show that's out. I have to watch 3 ads. I'm paying you to let me stream your services, and now I have ads again. Like, it's just, I watched are you familiar with the comedian Stavros?
Of course.
Yeah, so Stavros, people should check him out. Stavi, I absolutely love him. I saw him in Chicago, and he just goes, have you ever noticed how everything in this country is shittier and more expensive? Also, that a handful of billionaires could be miserable in public.
Yeah.
And that broke me. I was like, that's exactly what's wrong with everything right now. Everything is worse. Reese's
Neighbor Rooney, please tell me you got that one. Did you ever notice?
peanut butter cups don't taste as good because they don't use real chocolate. Oreos are thin now. Our streaming services are bullshit, and everything is more expensive. It's bullshit. And wages are not rising.
That was Mike's first campaign speech right there.
There you go. I am now young Bernie Sanders. Like, that's what's happening.
For real. Running on streaming services, radicalization moment. But speaking of the Pope, I think that was a good transition to the Pope, what you said earlier, that even this is a wake-up moment for so many MAGA people. It is all a wake-up moment. And these types of mistakes are going to be the effective end of Trump's term once he gets voted out in the midterms.
Lineups at the dollar store is getting longer. Like, I just stopped in there to get a candy bar the other day. I'm stuck waiting 3 hours behind Mrs. Henderson buying the whole kitchen set. Kind of makes a fellow wonder. Don't it? Did you ever know? Did you ever know?
Once Republicans get voted out, MAGA Mike Johnson will lose his power as the speaker. and the Republicans will find themselves in the minority. This Pope thing was big, and we can't let them forget this. I saw people like Michael Knowles coming out saying the president should delete this. And then, of course, Michael Knowles kind of ran defense after and said, I'm so glad he deleted it. He probably did think it was a doctor. They're all liars. But
It's
I saw other people,
It was ridiculous.
so ridiculous. People like Cam Higbee, these commentators were saying that no blasphemy in the Oval Office should be allowed. So they were genuinely pissed. And I think there's a difference between the MAGA commentators like Michael Knowles, who will always revert back to being pro-MAGA, versus the average person who's actually experiencing the high gas prices, combined with a president who's more focused on posting Jesus memes. I mean, just imagine this. How did America not learn from the first term that you shouldn't roll the die and elect an orange lunatic who will be tanking the economy while posting memes? How did America not learn and predicted this would happen again? Now people are learning the hard way as Donald Trump is, face planting face first into the global stage as Iran blockades or takes advantage of the Strait of Hormuz, and the United States has to match their blockade. Did you see the memes that were floating around Chinese media where it was like the Iran blockade, then it showed the United States, and it was like China, EU, and it was like just a funny, like, what if all the countries just start their own version of a blockade? I don't know.
Yeah, just I don't know. So on Michael Knowles for a second, I want to admit there's a funny, by the way, there's a funny debate happening in the chat right now about Girl Scout cookies and how they suck, and I think it's hilarious. So I'm dying. People over here talking about like, yes, the Girl Scout cookies do suck. You're right. But look, two separate things happened that offended a great deal of religious Americans, right? And I'm a practicing Catholic. It's a really important part of my value set. The reason I'm a Democrat is because I care about taking care of my neighbors, right? Like what you do for the least of us, you do for me, right? I think it's just an important part of who I am as an individual. And there's two things that happened. One, the president of the United States has repeatedly posted attacks on Pope Leo. He posted another one overnight, which was ridiculous. It is a lie that Pope Leo didn't speak out about the murder of tens of thousands of Iranians when they were protesting in the streets. He absolutely did. And they keep lying about that to try to undermine his critiques of the war in Iran. And then there's the Jesus meme, right? If you'll notice, all the evangelical, Protestant, Christian nationalist influencers that are out there, very, very offended by the Jesus meme. They are not offended by the attacks on the Pope. And I think it's important to note that only one of those two things has gotten deleted and corrected, and it's the Jesus meme. It is not the offense on Catholic Americans. It is not the attacks on the Pope. And a big part of the reason here is, and look, Catholics voted for Donald Trump by double digits. It pisses me off because they're a reliable voting bloc for Democrats, but they were alienated for reasons we don't have time to get into right now. But when Pete Hegseth and these Christian nationalists who use religion as a shield to justify the shitty things they want to do to women and trans kids and anybody that disagrees with them, when they see their perfect utopia of God and the state combined, they don't have room for Catholics there. They don't. And Catholics are disposable to MAGA. That is ultimately what it is. And if you listen to I watched Michael Knowles' show. I watched just the part where he talked about the Catholic Church because I was interested in it because he's a prominent Catholic. And it was the most mealy-mouthed defense of the president and saying like, oh, I probably wouldn't like this, but there's always been tension between the church and the state. And I'm like, yeah, but Joe Biden didn't attack Catholic bishops when they were considering him not getting communion because he was too pro-abortion for them. So like, it's very frustrating to me to watch conservatives wrap themselves in the flag and use the Bible like a shield and wrap themselves in family values, and they're the biggest hypocrites on the planet. And I'm absolutely tired of it, and I think they've exposed themselves this week. Like I wrote a piece yesterday for my Substack about how much I appreciate these moments when Donald Trump does something so fucking ridiculous that my non-political friends text me about it, because it shines a mirror on who these people really are, and you see who the real hacks are. And so when Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles and the rest of them are defending the president on this stuff, when JD Vance last night at the TPUSA event, which by the way was poorly attended, it was 25% attendance, was so bad that not Candace Owens, excuse me, Erica Kirk was like, I'm not even going to show up. Like he's out there defending Donald Trump, and he's the nation's most high-profile Catholic, and he can't defend his own faith. He can't say that it's wrong to attack your faith leader like that. It pisses me off. It just goes to show you these people are all fakes and phonies.
In fact, JD Vance said that the Pope shouldn't be involving himself in politics like that after JD Vance flew across the world to go involve himself in another country's politics, and then lose that election and then say he had nothing to do with it whatsoever. He didn't even know why he was there. Like, dude,
Right.
JD
Can I
Vance
add two? Can I add two things to that before you go down the Orban rabbit hole? Because JD Vance said two things. He was like, I think the Pope should stick to faith and not politics. And I'm like, and if you watch Pope Leo, it's just like all I said was, "Blessed be the peacemaker." Like, so it's like, it's like the Pope is like, "Blessed be the peacemaker." JD Vance is like, "Oh, hang on, guy, don't get political on me there. Don't make me actually live and understand my faith." And then the other thing he said, he was like, I reject the idea from the Vatican that God is not with our military. And like, look, I think God is watching over anybody who puts themselves in harm's way. I don't blame members of the military for what's happening in Iran right now. They're being given orders by corrupt politicians like Donald Trump and JD Vance. But there's a very famous Bible quote, right? Live by the sword, die by the sword. Like, very famous. So like, these people have never picked up a goddamn Bible in their lives. They just haven't. And they have zero interest in living by it unless it's about like controlling reproductive rights and attacking trans kids. It's all that they use religion for. Oh, and they use it to build giant evangelical megachurches so that they can, just steal money from their parishioners. Sorry, I'm in a mood today. Adam, I apologize.
No, this is great. This is probably one of the best rants on the internet about the Pope and about this clash. I'm glad that's water there. I thought you were opening like a jug of.
It was gay to get a sound. Wow. Very interesting.
Like a tin of vodka or something. I'm like, damn, bro.
No, it's just my vitamin water.
9 a.m. By the way,
we have cans of liquid death, and so sometimes when I'm on the show and I crack one open, people are like, "Are you drinking a beer?" And I'm like, "I wish." Like,
it's 7 a.m. or it's like 9 a.m. All right,
5 o'clock somewhere, Adam.
Viktor Orban in 1 second. But again, if you want to support independent media, support the team that Mike Nellis and I are building, you can make sure to hit the heart on the Substack live stream. We're at 1,200, almost 1,300 live. We're hitting new records every single week. Independent media is growing very, very rapidly. All right, to bring it back, that was really funny what you said a minute ago about like all he said was blessed be the peacemaker, or that you should fight wars in a just manner. Essentially, he said unjust wars shouldn't be fought. And they were like, are you talking to me? Are you getting political? And that's the modern day Republican Party. You can say like, listen, I don't think rapists should be in positions of power. I don't think rapists should be like a school principal or a president. They're like, why are you making everything so political? Dude, we're just trying to have some sort of moral clarity at a time when the president clearly has none. When JD Vance is traveling halfway across the world to help tyrants get elected. I love the fact that Viktor Orban lost. This might be a good place to kind of just start to wrap it up, because Viktor Orban represented this far-right populist wave across the globe. Viktor Orban was the tentpole, the blueprint, if you will, for a lot of these right-wing movements. Elon Musk was trying to replicate this across Europe, and he wasn't hiding it. If you look it up or if you go on Elon's Twitter feed, Elon was trying to replicate the Viktor Orban illiberal, undemocratic model across Europe, where he's very corrupt and he essentially was buying off elections for decades. And it took a massive coalition, as you said, to beat him. JD Vance decided to travel there at a time when we're at war and stump for this guy who is pro-Vladimir Putin and who was losing in the polls. And this shows the poor acumen of JD Vance. But on a broader level, it shows the fizzling out of this far-right movement. And you know what? You know what it makes me think? Oh, people in chat are calling for you to run. Run, Mike. Do it.
You all could talk to my wife about running, okay? Like,
yeah.
Maybe for like city council. That'd be about it.
You know what? Honestly, this has been my journey when it comes to this far-right movement. When Donald Trump won this election, and when I saw Elon Musk buying Twitter and using it to spread all of this far-right propaganda, I was pretty worried. And I still am very worried. I saw that Ukraine was losing support. Ukraine was losing funding. Russia was gaining territory both in the real world and on the online space. I was so worried 16 to 18 months ago. But somehow Donald Trump and JD Vance and Viktor Orban and Vladimir Putin and a lot of these right-wingers have collapsed this global, and Elon Musk, have collapsed this global growing right-wing movement because they're losers and they're unpopular and they overstepped. And people actually do like some baseline level of legal, safe immigration coming into our country. People don't like authoritarian media suppression. Hungarians just proved that. So it's so nice to see the dissolving, the fracturing of this far-right movement. It is not even close to dead. It will always exist in some form, but we're going to continue to push back Any final wrap up words?
Yeah, I have just a couple of disparate thoughts. The first thing is, if you're asking me to run for Congress, you should be pushing Adam to run for Congress. He's almost eligible. Okay,
No.
he's got 1 year away, and we live in the same congressional district. Everybody, okay, he lives 10 minutes away from me. So that's number one. I want to go back to just the Pope thing for a second. Just add one more thought, because there's another talking point out there that they're like, oh, what would Pope Leo say during World War II? Would he tell us to make peace with the Nazis? And I'd be like, no, first of all, because the Catholic Church had a really bad position on Nazism, which I don't really want to talk about because it's a stain on the Catholic Church's legacy. But you'll notice Pope Leo, when he's criticizing people on war, he criticizes the aggressor. Okay, we are the aggressor here, not Iran. All right, we made a decision to invade, or not invade, excuse me, but attack with no justification, and that was a choice that we made. So we're the aggressor here, in the same way that Russia is the aggressor in Ukraine. All right, and that's why they're taking this so hard. They can't handle it. And I just want to add one final thing on
I know
JD Vance and Viktor Orban here, because everything JD Vance's touches goes to shit. Every single thing goes to shit. It's hilarious. He destroyed the national championship trophy when Ohio State won the national championship. He killed Pope Francis, which I love that. I love that joke. It's so dark to me, but it's hilarious. Viktor Orban loses.
Broke the peace deal.
Broke the peace deal. The TPUSA event yesterday was 25% attended. Like, he is the worst of the worst with nothing to offer. Hell, he wrote a book about his pathway to Catholicism and then put a Methodist church on the front cover of it. And I've said this before, I probably said it on the show last week, Adam, but like, you can say whatever you want about the Catholic Church, but one thing we are fucking really good at is building beautiful churches. So how do you not put a Catholic church on the front page of your book, on the cover of your book? I mean, it's unbelievable to me. But the reason that this world order from the right is collapsing is because they've done nothing to deliver for people. Okay. Every election that they've won, including 2024, is a reaction to what happened under COVID, which was the hyperinflationary period, people being trapped in their house, the trauma that we've all experienced. And they were able to capitalize on that and remove people who were much more part of the pro-democracy liberal order. But they've done nothing but steal from the American people. Okay. The Viktor Orban stole money from Hungarian taxpayers to pay for CPAC and probably MAGA influencers. Donald Trump's made $4 billion to put in his back pocket, and you got nothing. It's a lot of circus, and it's no bread. And if they understood that, they would probably be able to succeed in this moment, but they've royally fucked it up. And Elon Musk spends more time posting stupid conspiracy theory memes on the internet than building his own companies, which is why Tesla stock is so far down. And he's losing the fight internationally on electric cars. And that is, I'll end my rant there.
We need fighter Mike Nellis more often. And we did all this without even mentioning the Epstein files. Like, we just did a whole segment, and we didn't even mention the main pedophile allegations. We're going to leave it there. Yeah. Subscribe for more if you want to be here at our 10 a.m., usually 10 a.m.
All right. Oh yeah, Underdog. Oh, I know Underdog. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
I was just thinking about that too. You're gonna do so well.
The one thing about having a crazy, hella modded KSP like this is it gets like impossible to find sometimes what you're looking for. More Diego stuff. No, I'll do fucking chicken dance. Oh God. They're really throwing everything they got. Jesus. I'm about to do a fucking chicken dance. And I just ate a giant burrito from Chipotle.
Nice.
I really don't want to do this right now, but fuck it. Here we go. This is more embarrassing because, you know, she's a chicken dance expert.
Yeah, I'm the chicken dance master. Can't mess with this.
Yeah,
See what you got.
I'm sure I'm going to endure some pretty scathing critiques here in a second. So
He's so good at it.
I am not.
You're so
good
good
at
at
it.
it. It's so fine.
Ow.
This is
Not bad. You know, you gotta be smiling, you know, like good
I don't have to smile.
There you go.
What do you do during this part?
It's a nice touch. Na, 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 na. And that's when you dance with her. Na, na, na. Circle. Bark, 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 bark. Nice. Very nice touch.
Ugh. The giant burrito in my stomach. Thanks, you motherfuckers. Ugh. Here, Muffin, have a peanut.
Targeted.
Come here.
That's.
Come here. Muffin, come here.
Oh my
Come on.
goodness. But like, I feel for you. It's so cool too.
Oh, what do we got there? A little chihuahua?
Yeah. This is
A chug.
the dog Aurora brought with her.
She's a mutt.
Mika's sister now. What, dude?
Do they get
Don't
along?
sit there looking all jealous. You left. You got to sit in the chair. You were trying to leave the whole time. She's chilling.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, they get along pretty well. So Mika's got a lot of energy though. So sometimes Muffin gets a little annoyed with her. Gives her a little snap. But it's fine.
Is Muffin older? Like, how old is Muffin?
Muffin's not super older. She's just tiny, so
Yeah.
she gets a little scared.
Yeah, she's been messed up.
Yeah, she's a rescue. But we're working
Oh,
on
nice.
it. We're working on everybody's behavior so they get along best as possible. Muffin's
Oh my
not
God, I
old. She's
got
like
it.
5 or 6 probably.
6,
Oh, that's
7.
fine.
Yeah. And that's it?
Yeah, when they get like, like 8, 9, 10 sometimes, like, yeah, they can get like kind of like a little bit annoyed and like snippy, if there's like too much high energy going on.
Yeah. No, I think it's just, Mika's like 70 pounds. And she goes
Yeah.
nuts, jumping around and everything. So,
Yeah.
if she's not careful, like Muffin could get hurt. And so Muffin's
Look
like,
at
yo,
the
you fucking chill,
Look at what I sent you. The emote.
What did you send me in? Oh, that's fun.
It's perfect.
Yeah, okay. Save the image. I'll add it so we have it.
Fabulous.
What are you doing, Muffin? Okay. All right, let's see. Community here. Chat. Emotes. We'll add one. We'll call it oh yeah. Oh, perfect name. Okay. Yes.
Oh, neighbor.
We now have Judgy Muffin.
Yay! That looks like labeling too.
What's that? Well, come on then. Come here. There you go. Alright, where were we? What was the next video I had? Oh yeah, the
93
the new plan for Artemis.
$3 billion and 13 years. That's what NASA spent building a plan to return astronauts to the moon. Giant rocket, crew capsule, a space station orbiting the moon, 2 companies building landers. But in February 2026, a new NASA administrator walked in and scrapped half of it overnight. The next 3 Artemis missions look nothing like what NASA was promising 12 months ago. And the story behind it is one of the wildest things happening in science right now. So let's start with the man who blew up the old plan. Jared Isaacman became NASA's administrator in early 2026. If that name sounds familiar, he is the billionaire fintech entrepreneur who commanded the SpaceX Polaris Dawn mission and performed the first ever commercial spacewalk. This is not a career bureaucrat shuffling papers around an office. This is a guy who has literally floated in the vacuum of space and decided he wanted to run the space agency. And his first major act was one of the most dramatic restructurings NASA has ever seen. On February 27, 2026, Isaac Mann laid out the problem during a press conference at NASA headquarters in Washington. The current approach of launching the SLS rocket once every 3 years while simultaneously trying to introduce major vehicle upgrades was, in his words, not a path to success. He was looking at the same data everyone else was trying to ignore. SpaceX's Starship, the vehicle NASA was counting on to actually land astronauts on the moon, had experienced 5 failures across 11 test flights. The company had never once transferred propellant between 2 separate vehicles in orbit, which is something that absolutely has to work before anyone rides Starship to the lunar surface. And a leaked internal SpaceX planning document from November 2025 showed the earliest realistic crewed moon landing would not happen until September 2028. NASA's own Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel had been waving red flags for months, with their September 2025
I'm waiting for Josh to
assessment
get
warning
online.
that the Starship
He just
human
got home
landing
like
system
early this
schedule
morning,
was
and
significantly challenged
he
and could
went to
slip by
bed.
years.
But like I
So
didn't sleep
Isaac
last
Mann
night,
did something
so I'm like
NASA
super
almost
tired
never
right now.
does.
I'm like,
He
man,
admitted
I
the
just
current
finished
plan was not
Invincible and The
working, and he
Boys.
changed course fast.
Yeah. Okay. So no
3 weeks later,
spoilers. I'm getting her caught up on.
No, I'm
The
not saying
Boys.
nothing, but oh
Yeah,
my
I'm
god,
getting her caught up on The Boys. She just finished season 1 last night.
of The Boys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, she's just getting.
I was more Invincible. I was like kind of just like watching. I'm like, all right, there. Holy shit,
Yeah, I love Invincible too.
got crazy.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new season yet because I'm gonna catch her up on that and we'll watch it together.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, I hope Josh gets on soon, because otherwise, I'm just gonna move on to like I'm gonna just watch the new Daredevil episode and then probably fall asleep. Yeah.
Set.
Like when I started, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like it's been like 10 years, and like I was like, I'm having a serious disconnect with like what the hell is going on. I talked to Eric about it though, and he's like, "Yeah, like I was having like there's some stuff I was forgetting, I guess." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." But the last episode I watched, I'm like, "Well, that left on a cliffhanger." No, Daredevil.
Oh, with Daredevil, yeah.
Yeah, because like it was 2015, like with the previous seasons, and I'm like, I'm not gonna like give it away, but I was just like the first episode I was just watching, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? All I could think of is Jessica from True Blood. Jessica. Vincent D'Onofrio is so fucking good.
Rick and Morty. I always think of Rick and Morty.
I mean, I don't know how old she was in True Blood, because like, damn, that shit was in, like the early 2000s, or maybe 2007ish or something like that. She looks great.
Oh yeah, I'm building, recreating Artemis in KSP.
That's cool. Very cool.
It's super fun, nerdy, but yeah. Takes time, because everything in KSP takes time.
I use Eric's accounts for like Disney and Amazon and like all that stuff, and like I had to like re-sign into like the accounts last night, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and like sends him a text code, so he was already asleep. So I was like, fuck. And it's just like throughout the day, like I've been like slowly remembering. I'm like, I watched a bunch of fucked up videos on YouTube last night. and this morning. And like I've been thinking about it during the day. I'm like, oh my god, like I watched some wild shit. It's like that very rare occasion when YouTube's just like I got all the goods for you and it's fucked up, and I'm like, give it to me. I just was watching this shit all night. I'm like, holy
The
shit.
internet is certainly a place, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. The Abba and Preach video with the Island Boys. Oh
my god, dude.
Oh
that
my
shit
god,
was...
it was way oh my god.
The second
That first chick,
cringe.
I thought it was Abba and Preach doing the sound effects. He's like, no, they added that, and I was like,
that
holy
was just
shit. That kid was like, is just so cooked. Oh my god.
Can't handle him. Like, his brain is just fucking
Just like, did you like just huff gas and like, sniff glue? Like, what the
dude,
fuck?
like, holy shit.
I know. I was just like, whoa, man.
Ugh.
Like, I'd remembered them from some time. I'm like, oh, it's there's kids with like a fuck ton of tattoos or whatever the fuck. Like, I didn't really know a whole lot about them. Didn't really care, but just was like, oh my goodness. That was wild.
Yeah, I saw this neighborhood. It looked fun. Yeah, I just... Like, they were even saying, like, bro, whoever invited you to this is not your friend.
Yeah.
They're not trying to help you, dog. They're trying to use you for content, because holy...
Like, that first chick, because that shit was crazy. That shit was hilarious.
What was the one where she was like, well, I can like change my hair color, but you can't unkiss your brother?
That was the first girl, like, yeah, she just kept on, like, doing, like, she was, like, on point. Like, it was, like, holy shit, it was so good.
So good. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, this, like, kissing the brother thing, and then it's just, like, you way less than I do. God.
That was brutal. Everything about that was brutal.
Yeah.
But,
the Millhouse video, like, with the guy breaking into, that was crazy, too.
Which Millhouse video?
Abba and Preach had another video where, like, this, like, just guy that kind of looked like an adult version of Millhouse, like, broke into this dude's house. He was, like, fucking psycho. Crazy. I was like, oh my god.
I did
People are
not
nuts.
see that one. Is that worth watching?
Yeah.
I can pull it up right now and watch it on stream. See.
Just volume warning, because, like, this guy goes psycho.
Oh boy. How can I find it?
Hang on. It's like Abba and Preach, like,
You can link it to YouTube if you...
Yeah, hang on. Let me see.
Link
YouTube.
it to me.
I'll link it to you. I watched it sometime last night. God, I watched a lot of crazy videos. Oh, here it is. I got to watch later. This is nuts. He broke, found homeowner inside. Copy link. Jordan. That was pretty crazy. What's psilocybin one?
Oh, okay. You saw about Johnny Somali as well, right?
Johnny Somali, what?
Dude who's just been a piece of shit in foreign countries. Already went to jail in Japan, now going to jail in Korea.
Oh, yeah, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh
He got into the house. He got into the house. So yeah, there's a story that's been going viral last couple of days, maybe last day or so, and you might have seen some clips. But turns out there's a couple more additional clips. But before I play those, I'm gonna play the original clip so everyone has that general context, and then we'll move.
And can you please lower the volume
on
whatever you're about to play?
I put it to half. So let's pray.
Thank you. That's what I was talking about.
Hello.
Shit.
Hi there. Can you open this door, please?
For what?
I just want to make sure that.
Are you watching the video?
There seems to be something going on.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's just crazy.
I don't know. I just figured I checked on something.
I don't know what you want, man. Get out of my house.
Open this fucking door.
What the?
Where's your daughter, man? Where's your daughter, man?
Talking about?
Wild.
Where's your daughter?
Watched a bunch of
Who's in there with
videos like
Bro.
that last night. It was crazy.
Bro, if you don't
Open this
leave,
fucking door. Open this door. I'm breaking it fucking down.
Your
You
face is
understand?
priceless.
leave my house. You don't.
Are you okay? Is
We
everyone in
are
this house
okay.
okay?
What? Everyone's okay. What do you want?
I know, right? I'm watching this last night. I'm like, what the?
Hey,
What
listen, I know a
is
lot of folks
going
laughing at
on?
home because they're like, "Yo, don't try to look scary."
I'm saying it's the
Flip-flops and
same.
an anime T-shirt, but in the era of school shooters, I don't know what's in this guy's bathrobe. I'd be terrified right now. I'm reaching for the strap. He's asking about my kid too. I'm reaching for the strap. What are you doing, preacher?
I'm gonna start with the bat, and then I'm gonna move my way down. Let's put it that way.
That's for hunting. All right, stop playing.
Hunting flip flops.
Bro, this is so creepy.
Can you leave my house, please?
He does look like Millhouse.
You have nothing to do with my house. Can you leave my house?
This
You
is
know what my
so-
name is?
I don't know who you are. You don't belong in this neighborhood. That's for sure.
This is my neighborhood, though.
Yeah, I live there. I don't know you.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker.
That was the beginning of
Open the
my night.
door.
It just got
This is
weirder
my
and
neighborhood.
weirder.
Open the fucking door.
All right, I know everyone's calling this man Millhouse because of the eyebrows. Very.
Preacher's dying.
House thinks that this man's daughter is in danger. Now, some people say this guy's just a creep weirdo who wants access to the daughter. I don't know. He looks actually disturbed. That's my impression. He actually looks like he believes something is going on.
No, or I will fucking end you. Do you understand?
Oh, that's a.
Whoa! He has snickers. Fuck! Holy shit! This grown ass man is throwing a tantrum.
Did you say, so he was saying, is she okay? Referring to the man's daughter.
Thought he was talking about Annie. Maybe he's a Michael Jackson fan.
Nigga, shut the fuck up.
Okay, like, do you want my commentary or you don't? Every time you.
Stupid. So, anyways, this ends up happening. The video goes viral, but afterwards, more footage gets released, and this actually shocked the shit out of me.
Where the fuck is she?
He got into the house. He got into the house.
Mm-mm.
Let's watch what happens.
Everybody run away. Victor?
Ah, you like girls, bitch? Ah! You fucking try me, I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you. Do you understand? You may. Where's she? Get the fuck out of my fucking house! You man, you think you can fucking shot me, motherfucker? I will save that little girl, you bitch! There's no fucking girl. You fucking liar! I can hear her. I can fucking hear her. Fucking hear you, bitch! You son of a bitch! I'll fucking kill you! Man, hurry the fuck up, because I'm gonna drag his ass out. I'm telling you, who are you talking to?
Dude, I am shocked. This is crazy.
Stand on the fucking ground. Who the fuck do you think you are? My name is Harry Justin. Get the fuck out of my house. I know you're screaming. There's no one up there. Get the fuck out of my third room, bro. Walk the fuck out. What's the third room? Walk the fuck out. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a chance right now, man. What's the third room, bro? I'm giving you a fucking chance. Get the fuck out of my house.
Fucking shovel.
I'm telling you, get the fuck out of my house. Please. Just answer the question. Get the fuck out of my house. Answer the question.
That's just
There's
my
no one there. I don't know who you are.
That's
You're
my
there in the
advice.
street at 1797.
I would not stay there.
I don't know who you're talking about, man. Why do I hear screaming? Are you military? Yes. Okay. Can you help me out? Okay. Yes. I understand what you're going through right now. Yes. Can you step outside? Yes, sir. Okay.
Sure.
There's something going on this street, bro. Bro, everything's fine. Please step outside. Okay. Well, sit there. Sit on the ground, please. Yes, sir. Okay.
It's like
I actually didn't know how this was going to end. Because at one point they started fighting, and I was like, wow. And I think the most shocking part about this whole thing is that a gun didn't go off at any point, either because neither of them had it or neither of them decided to use one. The fact that it didn't happen, I'm glad, especially with how it ended. And, you know, I think it's awesome also that this guy was managed to talk him down. I don't know if this man is military. He sounds deranged. He could be former military. He could just be mentally ill.
Oh, 100%. Like, when I'm watching this and I see this guy with a shovel and it's like, he goes straight to, are you military? This guy is way better than me. Way better than a lot of us in terms of empathy or whatever. Maybe he saw this or he recognized this dude or whatever. Or maybe he's been... I haven't been around that situation. I've seen things, but not close enough to be involved and to recognize that. So that guy, that's better than me.
Okay.
Shit. Cops on the way.
The cops get here.
How you doing? There's a little girl trapped in this house. You go check her, please? Okay. You got gloves?
Fairfield Police, is anybody
inside? Let's look clear.
See you next time, buddy. Take care.
For me, that video wasn't even that bad. That was just the start of my night. The videos I started watching got progressively more and more fucked up and surreal. Like, what is happening? That's what I'm saying. Like, throughout the day, I'm like, Jesus, I watched some wild stuff last night. I had to go move my car.
All right. Here's the police report here. Forced entry, not firearm, threatened crime, intentional terrorize, burglary, first degree, vandalism. So he did not have any weapon on him. $35,000. Yeah, to me that looks clearly like a mental health breakdown. Whether it's schizophrenia, whatever it could be, that man truly believed what he was saying. And,
yeah,
at least that's how I took it when I watched that. I know some people were painting this as some kind of predator situation. It just didn't look like that. And you know, if he is a mentally ill individual who really believed, he said he could hear people. You know, that man in that house might not even have kids. We don't even know. It's possible he does. I'm not saying it otherwise, because I looked in the sides of the house when they were moving. Did you notice the rollers there with the handles? You see these? Right by the wall? On the right side. I've seen those for roller skating. Normally they help like
Yes.
Am I tripping? I think that's what that is. No.
Well, I probably could die soon.
Well, there's a toy. Look at the end of the corridor.
Okay.
There's some kind of a toy.
Okay, so if it is confirmed that that man has kids, he has also a lot of restraint. Me watching this whole thing, I think that man having the patience to talk this man down after giving him a can whoop ass is really
the minute I see this dude walk on my doorstep and I got kids and you're talking about where's your daughter?
Yeah, but you know what?
And he went to, are you in the military? He's better than me.
You know what it is? I'm pretty confident about this, but I think the man who owns that house is former military. And I say that because, one, he's actually rather calm in a very high-stress situation. Yep. And through that, he's able to ask the person the right question. So he has some kind of training where he's able to talk. It's actually very shocking. The stress of the situation, someone breaking into your house, I'm telling y'all, when a stranger who's talking about your kids, I never had that portion, but I've had a stranger break into my house. I'm telling you, it is a high stress situation. That's what makes this reaction for me so shocking.
Listen, there's some stranger that talks smack about my friend's kids, and I was livid. It was not even mine. Him? I know. That guy.
I don't think the other dude is ex-military. I think he's just mentally ill. That's my read on him. The one who was outside the door, the Millhouse guy, nothing about his demeanor, the way he walks, nothing is military. The other one strikes me more as that I just think the Millhouse guy is mentally ill.
Did you look up Harry Dresden? You probably did.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker.
His name is not Harry Dresden. So his real name is Jason Thomas Nichols, okay? It's here in his arrest record. They have his ID and everything. He is 30 years old, 5'10". I wonder how he got inside the house. That's my only last question I think I have.
The way he was kicking the door, the first kick that he gave, it knocked him back. If you don't have a big door that's like reinforced, a couple of those are gonna, the whole mechanism of your door or your hinges, if the house is a bit old, you could mess a door up.
That's it for us today.
Wow. That shit was wild.
On March 24th, at an event NASA called Ignition Day, Isaacman dropped an even bigger bombshell. The Lunar Gateway, a planned space station designed to orbit the moon and serve as a waypoint for future lunar missions, was being paused in its current form. That station had $5.3 billion in commitments. Hardware was being built by the European Space Agency in Italy, JAXA in Japan, the Canadian Space Agency, and the UAE. ESA had spent years constructing a habitation module called iHab through Thales Alenia Space at their facility in Turin. And now they were being told, basically, we'll let you know what's happening with your hardware by June. On top of that, NASA killed the SLS Block 1B, Boeing's upgraded version of the giant rocket that would have used a new exploration upper stage for more lifting capacity. And they issued a stop work order on Mobile Launcher 2, the $2.5 billion launch platform that Bechtel was constructing specifically for that upgraded rocket at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. International partners were blindsided. Billions in hardware development and years of engineering work thrown into uncertainty in a matter of weeks. So what's actually replacing all of this? Let's break down each mission. Artemis 3 was supposed to be the one, the triumphant return to the lunar surface, the first woman on the moon, the first person of color to walk on another world. It was going to be the headline moment, the image in every textbook for the next 100 years. Instead, Artemis 3 is now a roughly 30-day test flight in Earth orbit, targeting somewhere around mid-2027. No lunar landing, no moonwalks, no South Pole. The mission will test whether the Orion spacecraft can successfully rendezvous and dock with one or both of the commercial lunar landers in orbit. Think of it as the Artemis program's version of Apollo 9, the mission where NASA tested the lunar module in Earth orbit before anyone dared fly it to the actual moon on Apollo 11. Smart approach, honestly. Apollo didn't jump straight to a landing either. They built up to it step by step. As of early April 2026, Isaacman revealed that NASA held its first senior-level Artemis 3 mission design discussion on April 7th. Key questions are still wide open. Will it dock with SpaceX's Starship, Blue Origin's Blue Moon, or both? Will the orbit be low Earth orbit or something higher? Will the crew test the new XMU spacesuit with a spacewalk? Nobody knows yet. And no crew has been officially announced, though NASA promised an announcement soon after the successful Artemis to splashdown in April 2026. The delay history on this single mission is staggering. Artemis 3 originally targeted 2024, then it slipped to 2025, then 2026, then September 2026, then 2027, then January 2028. And now it's been completely redesigned as a different kind of mission entirely. That's at least 7 schedule changes across 9 years. But here's where it gets really exciting, because all of that testing clears the path for the big one. Artemis 4 is now targeting early 2028, and if it succeeds, it will be the first crewed landing on the moon since Apollo 17 touched down on December 14, 1972. That's a gap of more than 55 years. Think about that for a second. Humans walked on the moon before the invention of the personal computer, before email, before the internet, before smartphones existed, and we just stopped going. 4 astronauts will launch aboard the SLS rocket and Orion crew capsule from Kennedy Space Center. 2 of them will transfer to whichever commercial lander is ready and descend to the moon's south pole. The other 2 stay in lunar orbit aboard Orion, conducting science and monitoring the landing from above. Isaacman has been absolutely direct about the lander selection. The first company capable of delivering a working lander is the one America is going to fly. SpaceX and Blue Origin are in a dead sprint, and NASA is genuinely prepared to go with either one. No crew has been named for Artemis 4 yet. The astronauts will likely be drawn from the 18 candidates named to NASA's Artemis team in December 2020, plus graduates from the Artemis Generation astronaut class. What we do know is that this mission will include the first woman and the first person of color to walk on the lunar surface, a commitment NASA has maintained through every iteration of the program. The Orion spacecraft will be powered by European Service Module 4, built by Airbus in Bremen, Germany, and shipped to NASA in December 2025. And here's a piece of history that space nerds are going to love. The 4 RS-25 engines on the SLS core stage for Artemis 4 will be the last Heritage Space Shuttle main engines ever flown. Engines with designations E2044, E2050, E2051, and E2063. Starting with Artemis 5, NASA transitions to newly manufactured RS-25 engines running at 111% thrust. Now let's talk about what happens when astronauts actually set foot on the lunar surface. Because this isn't a repeat of Apollo. They're not planting a flag, bouncing around for a couple hours, and heading home. 2 astronauts will spend approximately 1 week on the moon near the South Pole, conducting up to 4 moonwalks of about 6 hours each. Their first EVA on day 2 handles initial surface operations and setup. Day 3 focuses on geological sampling and instrument deployment. Day 5 involves collecting samples from crater ejecta blankets, the debris fields thrown outward by ancient asteroid impacts. And Day 6 deploys geotechnical instruments and an environmental monitoring station for experiments on using lunar resources. This is fundamentally different from how Apollo worked. Apollo 11's crew spent just 21 hours on the surface. Even Apollo 17, the longest surface stay ever, only managed about 75 hours over 3 days. Artemis 4's crew will have roughly 170 hours on the moon, with dedicated science objectives that Apollo astronauts could only dream about. 3 science instruments have already been selected by NASA. The first is LEMS, a compact seismometer designed to run autonomously for up to 2 years, detecting moonquakes and potentially becoming the first station in a global lunar seismic network. Scientists have wanted a permanent seismic monitor on the moon since the Apollo instruments were shut down in 1977. Nearly 50 years of silence on lunar seismology are about to end. The second instrument is called LEAF, and this one is genuinely fascinating. It will be the first experiment ever to observe plant photosynthesis and growth under actual lunar gravity and radiation conditions. We've grown plants on the International Space Station in microgravity, but the moon's 1/6 gravity is a completely different environment. If humanity is ever going to grow food off Earth, This tiny experiment is literally step one of proving it's possible. The third instrument, the Lunar Dielectric Analyzer built by the University of Tokyo with JAXA support, will probe the electrical properties of the lunar soil to help pinpoint where subsurface water ice is hiding. That data feeds directly into the long-term plan for extracting and using lunar water, and the location they're targeting might be the most scientifically significant place humans have ever tried to visit. NASA has narrowed the Artemis landing zone to 9 candidate regions, all within 6 degrees of the lunar south pole. These include Malapert Massif, a mountain rising over 16,000 feet with near perpetual sunlight for solar power. There's the Mons Mouton Plateau, the widest and flattest candidate stretching 37 miles across. And there are sites along the rims of De Gerlach, Haworth, Nobile, and Amundsen craters. The final site depends on launch window timing. Here's why the South Pole matters so much. The permanently shadowed regions inside those craters may hold water ice that has been preserved for billions of years, sitting at temperatures among the coldest measured anywhere in our solar system. Some of these areas haven't seen sunlight in over 2 billion years. The ice wasn't deposited by rain or snowfall. It arrived via ancient comet and asteroid impacts, and the permanent shadow has kept it frozen in place ever since. That ice isn't just scientifically fascinating, it could be cracked into hydrogen and oxygen to provide drinking water, breathable air, and rocket fuel for future missions. If you can make fuel on the moon instead of hauling it from Earth, you drastically cut the cost of every mission that follows. And the nearby peaks that receive near constant sunlight mean reliable solar power generation around the clock. No human has ever visited this region. Every single one of the 6 Apollo landings happened near the lunar equator, thousands of miles from the South Pole. If you're finding this deep dive into the future of space exploration as wild as I do, hit subscribe. We cover stories like this every week, and the next chapter of Artemis is going to be intense. Now let's get into the engineering that makes or breaks everything. SpaceX's human landing system is a modified version of their Starship rocket. It stands 165 feet tall, roughly the height of a 15-story building, making it the largest spacecraft ever designed to land on another celestial body. It has a built-in elevator system to lower astronauts from the crew cabin all the way down to the surface, and it runs on Raptor engines burning liquid methane and liquid oxygen. NASA has awarded SpaceX approximately $4.5 billion for this lander. But here's the engineering challenge that keeps mission planners up at night. Before every single crewed landing attempt, SpaceX has to launch 8 to 16 separate tanker flights to fill an orbital propellant depot floating in space. Then they launch the actual Starship lander, which docks with that depot and tops off its fuel tanks for the trip to the moon. That means potentially 17 launches just to support one lunar mission. If even one of those launches fails, or the refueling process hits a snag, the entire landing could be delayed by months while the propellant boils off in space. As of early 2026, SpaceX has never successfully transferred propellant between 2 separate vehicles in orbit. They did demonstrate an internal fuel transfer within a single Starship during test flight IFT-3 in March 2024. But ship-to-ship transfer in the vacuum of space, with cryogenic propellants that want to boil away and 2 vehicles that need to maintain perfect alignment, never been done by anyone, ever. SpaceX's internal planning timeline targets a first orbital refueling demonstration in June 2026, an uncrewed Starship lunar landing in June 2027, and the earliest crewed moon landing in September 2028. That's aggressive by any standard. On the encouraging side, SpaceX has completed over 30 HLS-specific technical milestones, including full-scale cabin life support testing, elevator demonstrations with the actual AXIOM-U spacesuits, and landing leg drop tests on simulated lunar soil. Now, on the other side of this billion-dollar competition, Blue Origin is building the Blue Moon Mark II lander for Artemis 5, targeting late 2028. And their entire approach looks completely different from SpaceX. Blue Moon stands about 52 feet tall, 1/3 the height of Starship. Instead of an elevator, astronauts walk down a short stairway to reach the surface. It uses 3 BE-7 engines burning liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, producing up to 44,000 newtons of thrust each. It can carry up to 4 astronauts for 30 days on the surface with a payload capacity of 20 metric tons in its reusable configuration, or 30 tons expendable. Blue Origin won a $3.4 billion firm fixed price contract from NASA in May 2023, and then invested well over $3.4 billion of its own money on top, putting total development spending somewhere around $7 billion. The company leads a national team that includes Lockheed Martin building a cislunar transporter tug, Boeing on docking systems, Draper handling guidance and navigation, Astrobotic for cargo delivery, and Honeybee Robotics managing cargo operations. The BE-7 engine has already completed a continuous test burn lasting over 17 minutes, and the Blue Moon Mark I cargo Pathfinder lander was fully assembled by October 2025 for a planned robotic landing near Shackleton Crater at the South Pole. And then there's the spacesuit situation, which is honestly one of the coolest sidebars in the entire program. After NASA's in-house spacesuit program fell years behind schedule and way over budget, the agency pivoted to a commercial approach. They awarded Axiom Space a $228 million contract to build the Axiom Extravehicular Mobility Unit, or AXIMU. And then Axiom did something that made headlines for reasons nobody expected. They brought in Prada. Yes, that Prada. The Italian luxury fashion house designed the suit's outer layer. The result is a white suit with dark gray protective pads on the elbows and knees, light blue boot soles as a callback to the Apollo legacy, an Oakley-designed visor optimized for the extreme low sun angles at the South Pole, built-in 4G LTE communications for talking with mission control, HD cameras mounted in the helmet, biometric sensors monitoring the astronauts' vital signs, and regenerable carbon dioxide scrubbing systems. The suit supports 8-hour moonwalks, including over 2 hours operating in permanently shadowed regions where temperatures plunge to unimaginable cold. And unlike the Apollo-era suits, which only accommodated certain male body types, the AXIMU is designed to fit every body from the 1st to the 99th percentile. The first flight unit is under assembly as of February 2026. Artemis 5 also brings something back to the moon that hasn't been there in over 50 years. A rover. The Apollo 17 crew drove the last lunar roving vehicle across the surface in December 1972, and it's still sitting there covered in dust, exactly where they left it. NASA is investing up to $4.6 billion across 3 competing teams to build a modern successor called the Lunar Terrain Vehicle. And the requirements make the original Apollo buggy look like a golf cart. It has to carry cargo, 800 kilograms of cargo, travel 12 miles per day, operate for 8 continuous hours, survive the brutal 14-day lunar night where temperatures drop far below -200 degrees Celsius, and function both as a crewed vehicle that astronauts can drive and as a fully autonomous robotic platform that conducts science between crewed visits. That last part is key. Between Artemis missions, this rover drives itself around the South Pole collecting data and scouting terrain. So when the next crew arrives, they already know exactly where to go. The 3 teams competing are Intuitive Machines with their Moon Racer design alongside Boeing and Michelin, Lunar Outpost's Lunar Dawn concept with Lockheed Martin and General Motors and Goodyear, and Venturi Astrolab with their own modular design. The winning rover gets pre-positioned on the surface by a commercial cargo lander before the crew even arrives, so it's waiting for them when they touch down. Now we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that elephant weighs $93 billion. NASA has spent that staggering sum over 13 years on Artemis-era programs. Every single SLS launch costs roughly $4.1 billion. For comparison, each Saturn V launch during the Apollo era cost about $1.4 billion in today's inflation-adjusted money. The Artemis program is running a 140% over its original budget estimates, and a 2025 Government Accountability Office report flagged $6.8 billion in cost over UNRS across just 3 major Artemis projects. The politics around funding are just as chaotic as the engineering challenges. The Trump administration's fiscal year 26 budget proposed a 24% cut to NASA and actually called for canceling SLS and Orion entirely after Artemis 3. Congress pushed back aggressively. The so-called One Big Beautiful Bill Act signed on July 4, 2025, injected nearly $10 billion in supplemental funding into NASA, including $4.1 billion earmarked specifically for SLS rockets for Artemis 4 and 5. The resulting fiscal year 26 budget of approximately $27.5 billion was NASA's largest since 1998 in inflation-adjusted terms. But the fiscal year 27 proposal again sought a 23% cut, and the cycle continues. But here's the factor that makes all the budget squabbling feel almost small. China's national space program is targeting a crewed lunar landing by 2030. They're constructing the International Lunar Research Station with 13 partner nations, including Russia. Their Long March 10 rocket is already in development, and they've successfully landed robotic probes on the far side of the moon, something no other country has accomplished. They returned the first samples from the moon's far side with the Chang'e 6 mission in 2024. This isn't an aspirational timeline from a country playing catch-up. China has met every major space milestone they've set for the past decade, on schedule or ahead of it. And Isaac Mann has explicitly framed Artemis as an issue of great power competition, publicly saying the clock is running and that success or failure will be measured in months, not years. The stated goal is to land American astronauts on the moon before the end of President Trump's term. Meanwhile, the Artemis Accords, a set of non-binding principles for peaceful space exploration, have now been signed by 61 countries as of January 2026. That's up from just 8 founding nations when the Accords launched in October 2020. The coalition now spans every inhabited continent. But notably absent from the list are China and Russia, who have called the Accords a US-centric attempt to shape international space law. Key international partners are deeply embedded in the program. ESA provides the European service module that powers Orion, built by Airbus with contributions from 10 European nations. JAXA in Japan is building a pressurized lunar rover with Toyota in exchange for surface time for Japanese astronauts, potentially making them the first non-Americans on the moon. Canada flew astronaut Jeremy Hansen on Artemis II, the first Canadian on a lunar mission. And this is where the vision gets truly enormous, because Artemis isn't about visiting the moon and coming home. The end game is staying there permanently. NASA's March 2026 plan envisions 76 robotic and crewed landings delivering over 200 metric tons of hardware to the lunar surface, across 3 construction phases spanning roughly $20 billion over 7 years. Phase 1 runs through 2028 and focuses on proving reliability. 21 landings delivering 4 metric tons of hardware, including early rovers, the Viper ice prospecting robot, propulsive drones that can hop up to 50 kilometers for terrain surveys, and 2 communications satellite constellations providing over 500 megabits per second of bandwidth. That's faster internet on the moon than a lot of people have at home. Phase 2 runs through 2031 and builds the actual base. 27 landings, 60 metric tons of infrastructure, semi-habitable modules where astronauts can live and work, solar and nuclear power systems, communication towers, and the pressurized JAXA rover that Toyota is helping design, with 2 crewed missions per year becoming routine. Imagine a world where going to the moon twice a year is just Tuesday at NASA. Phase 3 runs through 2036 and achieves permanent occupation. 28 landings, 150 metric tons of equipment, fission power plants capable of running through the 2-week lunar night, multiple habitats supporting 4 astronauts on monthly rotations, and an industrial zone for extracting oxygen and hydrogen from the lunar soil and converting it into water, rocket fuel, and construction materials. At that point, the moon base starts manufacturing some of its own supplies instead of shipping everything from Earth. That's the fundamental difference between this program and everything that came before. Apollo's 6 successful landings were, as NASA veterans have described them, camping trips, flags, footprints, a few hundred pounds of rocks, and home. Nobody built anything that lasted. Nobody set up infrastructure for the next crew. Every mission started from scratch. Artemis is designed to be cumulative. Each mission builds on the last. The Orion capsule is 50% larger than Apollo's command module. The commercial landers are 2 to 7 times the size of the Apollo lunar module. Where Apollo's guidance computer ran on 4 kilobytes of memory, less than a modern calculator, Artemis systems are millions of times more capable. Where Apollo 17 spent a maximum of 3 days on the surface, Artemis is targeting weeks, then months, then continuous habitation where there's always someone living and working on the moon. So where does that leave us right now? Artemis 2 splashed down successfully in April 2026, sending 4 astronauts around the moon and back, with Victor Glover becoming the first person of color beyond low Earth orbit, and Christina Koch, the first woman. The program sits 3 missions from a landing that would be the first in over half a century. But massive uncertainties remain. Neither SpaceX nor Blue Origin has demonstrated orbital refueling. Neither has landed a crew-rated vehicle on the moon. The 2028 timeline is aggressive even by optimistic standards. International allies are still scrambling after the Gateway cancellation shook up years of planning, and Congress and the White House keep swinging between lavish funding and proposed cuts every single budget cycle. After $93 billion, 7 delays to Artemis 3 alone, a canceled lunar space station, and a completely rewritten mission sequence, NASA is betting everything on an incremental test before you leap strategy, a competition between 2 private companies, and a moon-based roadmap that sounds like science fiction. Whether they pull it off is the biggest question in space exploration right now, but whatever happens...
This is Enceladus, Saturn's 6th largest moon, a tiny world orbiting a giant planet. But don't let its seemingly unimpressive size fool you. When the Cassini space probe found huge cryovolcanic plumes erupting from its south pole, this little world brought the entire scientific community to a standstill. What was going on? Flying through these icy jets got us closer to an answer. The probe discovered water, organic molecules, and hints of a hidden ocean filled with hydrothermal vents. But in 2017, Cassini ran out of fuel. As it dived into Saturn, it took with it our only means of probing Enceladus, leaving us with countless unanswered questions. Does it have a global ocean? What exactly is happening below the surface? And most importantly, could it be home to life? A decade on, we've not yet returned to Enceladus, but the science hasn't stopped. The James Webb Space Telescope has turned its attention to the moon, and researchers are still mining the data that Cassini sent back. And luckily, we found more answers than you might think. I'm Alex McColgan, and you're watching Astrum. Join me today as we return to this surprise in the Saturn system, explore the incredible chemical complexity hiding below its surface, and reveal how 10-year-old data is still shocking us, all in the search for life beyond Earth. At just 500 kilometers across, Enceladus is a tiny world. It's similar in size to the state of Arizona. It orbits 238,000 kilometers from Saturn, where the sun is a mere distant spark, and surface temperatures average a bone-chilling minus 201 degrees Celsius. All these factors make Enceladus an incredibly difficult target to track. It was finally discovered by Sir William Herschel in 1789, and to spot it required the largest telescope the world had ever seen. The instrument, built by Herschel and his sister Caroline, was so pioneering that its half-ton mirror required more than a year of painstaking polishing. Yet, even through this behemoth scope, Enceladus looked like nothing more than an unremarkable, icy rock. Herschel's telescope was so far ahead of its time that this remained our only perspective of the Saturnian satellite for nearly 200 years. It wasn't until the 1980s, when Voyager 1 and 2 performed their swift flybys, that our perspective shifted forever. The images sent back didn't show the featureless world we expected, but instead revealed regions that were remarkably smooth and crater-free, suggesting the moon had been recently seismically active. Most curiously, Enceladus was found sitting directly in the densest part of Saturn's E-ring, leading scientists to suspect the moon was somehow feeding the ring with material. Was Enceladus alive? The mysteries raised by the Voyager flybys made Enceladus a high priority target for a follow-up, and directly fueled the planning of the Cassini-Huygens mission. The Titan 4B rocket launched Cassini in 1997, and in late 2004, 6 years after its double slingshot maneuver around Venus, it reached Saturn to carry on Voyager's legacy. It was a monumental effort that has since generated more than 4,000 scientific papers, but no discovery caused more hype than the events of early 2005. During its first flybys, Cassini's cameras caught sight of massive geysers erupting from Enceladus into the vacuum of space. These vents were ejecting 250 kilograms of water and ice every second at speeds of over 1,000 kilometers per hour. This confirmed it. Enceladus had an atmosphere and active geology. NASA immediately shifted the mission's course, ordering Cassini to perform a maverick maneuver, passing just 50 kilometers above the surface to taste the plumes. What was worth such a risk, you might ask? Well, NASA were looking for signs of extraterrestrial life. And I, for one, can't wait to find out for sure if alien life exists elsewhere in the universe. And it amazes me every day that humanity now has the technology and ability to look for it. That kind of tech doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It takes years of learning maths and coding to create the programs that run probes like Cassini. If you are a student who's serious about studying maths and coding, you should check out Brilliant, today's sponsor. I tried their probability and chance course. I want to figure out the odds of alien life existing after all. And I found their team of MIT, Stanford and Harvard teachers made a course filled with thought-provoking and brain-teasing challenges. Because every lesson is interactive and breaks down the concepts step by step, it's like having your own personal tutor. Brilliant is suitable for all ages, 10 to 110. Whether you're learning yourself or hoping to inspire young minds by dividing maths and coding with your kids, their comprehensive curriculum lets you go as far and as fast as you like. So if you're looking to excel at a new field of knowledge, why not scan my QR code or click the link brilliant.org/astrum in the description below. Doing so will give you 20% off an annual premium subscription for unlimited daily access to all Brilliant has on offer. Now, back to that radical Cassini maneuver. A major motivator of our exploration of space is the hope that we're not alone. To define life, NASA looks for a self-sustaining chemical system capable of Darwinian evolution. But what does that mean when we are searching on Enceladus? Well, there are 4 boxes we need to check: liquid water, energy, chemicals, and time. First up, liquid water, the solvent of life. The question here isn't whether Enceladus has it, that's abundantly clear, but rather we need to ask, how much water is there, and where is it coming from? Cassini's initial photos and infrared images from 2006 showed significant heat at the South Pole. This incredible photo shows the famous tiger stripes, long fissures in the icy crust, hinting at the activity below. And clearly some form of a liquid ocean exists here, potentially with hydrothermal activity that powers the huge ice plumes. For years, scientists believed this ocean was small and lens-shaped. However, by meticulously tracking surface features over 7 years, they noticed the moon librates, or wobbles, a lot more than would be possible with just a small polar ocean. This finding led to an astonishing realization. The core isn't rigidly connected to the surface. We are now confident that the ocean covers the rocky core across its entire surface. In 2025, there was another breakthrough. scientists from the University of Oxford, Southwest Research Institute, and the Planetary Science Institute looked back through the Cassini observations of the North Pole from its winter in 2005 and summer in 2015. They found that not only was heat escaping at the South Pole, but also at the North Pole. It was 7 degrees warmer than they expected. This result tells us that Enceladus is generating a lot more internal heat than we thought, and suggests the ocean may have been there for a while. But this far from the sun, it is bitterly cold. As I mentioned, the surface temperature of Enceladus is minus 201 degrees Celsius. There is no way water should be liquid. So, next on the list for scientists to check out was energy. Where was the heat coming from? If Enceladus generated heat by radioactive decay in its core, like Earth does, the energy produced would only be 1% of what Cassini was witnessing. So in 2017, a team led by Gail Schauble proposed a solution. Enceladus is tidally locked to Saturn, meaning the moon only ever shows one face to the planet. This distorts Enceladus, which creates heat inside the moon through internal friction and powers geological activity. But it's not enough to just generate and radiate the heat. It needs to be physically transported from the core to the ocean above. How? Well, incredibly, it seems that water perfuses the silicate mineral core where it is heated, causing it to rise in focused plumes that pepper the seafloor around the South Pole. In 2022, a study led by Wan-Ying Kan found further proof of these events. Based on Cassini's data, they created models of Enceladus's icy surface to try and work out the salinity of the ocean. They found that it's just a little less salty than we find here on Earth, and that means that there must be, or have been, water-rock reactions, or in other words, vents, at some point. Hydrothermal vents are credited by scientists as powering the origin of life on Earth. That these vents may also exist on a small moon around a gas giant is an electrifying discovery, because they give us the third requirement for life: chemicals. Cassini was equipped with a mass spectrometer, an instrument that can identify individual molecules by the mass of their ions. On its flybys, it detected hydrogen, believed to be a fuel source for early life, and complicated hydrocarbons containing oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. But scientists racing to process the huge volume and richness of data couldn't keep up. Before they could get through it all, the Cassini mission came to an end, and on the 15th of September 2017, it was sent hurtling towards Saturn and was vaporized by the planet's atmosphere, in a self-destructive maneuver designed to protect potential habitable life on Enceladus and Titan from contamination by Earth-borne microbes. Though Cassini's mission had been completed, ours had not. An analysis in 2018 had confirmed the existence of ring-shaped organic molecules and simple oxygen-containing molecules, indicating some limited chemistry was occurring. Another huge boost to the search for life came in 2022, when the last element crucial to life was observed in the data: phosphorus. With its discovery, we now had all 6 main elements believed to be necessary for life: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur, which scientists know by the acronym CHNOPS. For a while, this felt like the end of the story, but it turns out this particular book had a few more chapters to go. When scientists first saw the mass spec data from Cassini, they weren't confident in what they were looking at. It turns out that the spectra of a carefully prepared sample, analyzed while stationary in a lab, looks somewhat different to the one obtained by crashing the detector into a ejector at 64,000 km per hour in space. A mass spectrum analyzer works by ionizing and breaking a molecule apart at high energy. How the molecule breaks apart matters. A molecule's fingerprint can look different depending on how it was fragmented, in the same way that a watermelon prepared with a knife looks different from one prepared with a blender. By understanding the typical pattern of how an object breaks under certain conditions, we can be more confident of what it used to be. Improved analytical tools helped a team, led by Nozea Kavajar from the Institute of Space Systems in Stuttgart, do exactly that. After more than a decade of studying the plume flybys, Kawaja's team published their results last year, using samples that were collected when Cassini passed just 20 kilometers from the moon's surface. Unlike others the probe collected, they were just minutes old, and therefore unchanged by ionizing radiation from the sun like other particles in the E-ring. These samples were a pristine example of what's in the oceans of Enceladus. In the most extreme examples, they found molecules more closely related to life than ever before. Carbon dioxide, carbon-rich alkanes and alkenes, cyclic esters and ethers, ethyls, and other nitrogen and oxygen-bearing compounds. In other words, complex chemistry, potentially powered by hydrothermal vents. These molecules are the Lego blocks of chemistry. More functional groups allow for more complex reactions. In a lab, these can become so complex that they even demonstrate Darwinian evolution. And once you have evolution, there's just one last requirement: time. What we need to know is, how stable and frequent is this geothermal activity? Would life have had enough time to emerge on Enceladus? Although Cassini was at Saturn for 13 years, that was, of course, too short a time to be conclusive. Enter the James Webb Space Telescope. A team led by Dr. Jeronimo Villanueva used 10 hours of the James Webb's time to check in on Enceladus, and what they saw was shocking. The moon had an even more enormous plume erupting from its south pole, expanding to 20 times the size of the moon itself. That is significantly larger than what Cassini saw. These observations widened the known window of Enceladus's activity, and they solved another massive mystery. Where does Saturn's atmospheric water come from? The images show that Enceladus feeds a large torus of ice particles around Saturn, making it the only moon in the solar system that affects the atmospheric chemistry of its host planet. But these water ice particles also have another impact on the planet. As they travel through the Saturn system, they're stripped of electrons, becoming ionized. This then creates an electrically charged plasma, which scientists have recently discovered interacts with the planet's magnetic field. Plasma waves 504,000 kilometers long, that's 1,000 times the moon's diameter, known as the Alpenwings, stream from the moon. The main ones go from Enceladus to the planet, but others are reflected back, creating an intriguing lattice of plasma around Saturn. We still don't fully understand them, but they're a surprising consequence of Enceladus's great geysers. But how long will this activity last? Within the last year, decade-old data from the Cassini Composite Infrared Spectrometer was compared to models of Enceladus's surface temperature. The team, comprising Georgina Miles and Carly Howitt, were able to show that the total thermal output from the surface is very well matched with the predicted heat generation in the core. This suggests the moon's current ocean epoch will be long-lived, and that it is exactly what life needs to emerge. It is incredible how much more has been learned simply from reanalyzing old Cassini data with new techniques. And it's not just the professionals who are making discoveries. In 2017, amateur astronomer Ted Strike looked back at old Voyager images of Enceladus and found a feature that could have changed the course of the original Cassini mission: a water plume. Can you spot it? If we had known about it when the mission was in planning, how different might the design of Cassini been? Well, whatever changes scientists and engineers might have made, they now have a chance to be realized as new missions are being planned to continue the work of Cassini. The European Space Agency is racing forward with a mission set to launch in 2042, to arrive at Saturn in 2053 with a potential landing on Enceladus in 2058. We already know Enceladus has all the conditions to kickstart life, so it's exciting to think, what will we be able to find when we look below the ice? Fortunately, we won't have to wait quite that long to get some answers on life on icy moons generally. Another ESA mission called JUICE, or Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, is already on its way and expected to arrive at Jupiter in 2031 to study Callisto, Europa, and Ganymede. Its mission purpose is to investigate the emergence of habitable worlds around gas giants. 2 other proposed missions will explore Saturn's moons in new ways. The Dragonfly mission to Titan will take advantage of the thick nitrogen atmosphere and use a drone for the first time on a natural satellite. Outside of the national space agencies, a privately funded mission called Breakthrough Enceladus is also planned, though currently this project appears to be dormant. But the mission I'm most excited about is the Enceladus Explorer, a project funded by the German Aerospace Center that proposes to send a nuclear ice mole, yes, you heard that correctly, to melt its way deep into the crust and expose untouched niches within the ice to search for life. If any of these even hint that proto-life processes are active on an object outside the usual habitable zone, we will have opened up a whole new realm of possible places life could take hold across the galaxy. Maybe life isn't rare after all. I'm always reminded of a fantastic line from Jeremy England. You start with a random clump of atoms, and if you shine a light on it for long enough, it should not be so surprising that you get a plant. Perhaps scientists didn't see those plumes on the original Voyager images because they simply weren't expecting to see them. But now that we know what we're looking for, there is no doubt more discoveries are on the way. There is also almost certainly yet more to find within Cassini's data even now, a decade after its mission ended in spectacular style. And I am as excited now as I was in 2004, when the probe first reached Saturn and its moons. If you've ever watched an Astrum video and found yourself pausing just to take in the beauty,
I'm definitely gonna die. Yep.
Notice how he hasn't actually disagreed on a single example that it was taken out of context. He actually is defending or saying that all of them are correct.
Of Crimea was absolutely a justifiable annexation. What do you call Crimea? I call it part of Russian territory. Cry me a river, a Russian river. The annexation.
Look, he's joking. Now, to be fair,
Wait, he's joking? What do you mean he's joking? He's not. He's defended the opinion like a few days ago. What part of it? What is that a joke? What's the joke? What's funny? What's the joke there? What is he joking about?
There was an article that came out in the Telegraph, which they deleted because it got a little too close to the truth. And in that article, they spoke to Christians in Lebanon who were like, oh yeah, we got no problem with Hezbollah. They protect us from the psychotic Israelis.
What do you mean you don't understand it? You're too stupid to understand your own side? The reason why people were saying it is because people like Hassan hate America. That's the entire perspective they have. So the idea that Russia was going to invade from Hassan's perspective, you can listen to stream, he talks about this. It was U.S. State Department propaganda designed to make people in the West hate Russia. That's it. It was U.S. State Department propaganda to make Russia look like an unhinged aggressor. That's it. That was the rationale.
All right, y'all. I have to say, I am completely and utterly done with Hassan derangement syndrome. Let me just say, as clear as I possibly can, if you are a political commentator and you have a take on Hassan Piker, do me a favor and just shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it.
King.
We shouldn't even be having this conversation. This hopefully will be the last time I have to fucking address this. But I am so sick. We're living in a world where Donald Trump is waging an illegal and offensive war against Iran. The outline of World War III is there for shit show. I don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. We shouldn't even be having this conversation. This hopefully will be the last time I have to fucking address this, but I am so sick. We're living in a world where Donald Trump is waging an illegal and offensive war against Iran. The outline of World War III is there for shit sure.
Yeah, Kyle, we knew this. That's why some of us were enthusiastically campaigning for and advocating for people to vote for Kamala Harris. Why are you complaining?
Anybody with a functioning brain can see it. China, Russia, Iran versus us and Israel, with a hesitant Europe to fucking take a side. Even the Gulf Arab states now are hesitant to sort of take a side. You see the outlines there. The Strait of Hormuz is shut down. Gas is absolutely skyrocketing. Our AI bubble is about to burst seemingly any minute. We have a looming fucking global depression that's about to hit. We have war crime after war crime after war crime being committed on a daily basis. We have fears of a Moab or nukes about to be used in Iran. They're attacking hospitals. They're attacking schools. Israel is stealing South Lebanon right now as we speak. They displaced 1.1 million people. They're bulldozing their homes. They're seizing their land. All this shit is going on. And we're supposed to have a fucking conversation about Hassan Piker. Did you guys see that in 2019, he said this thing, which was really politically incorrect and rude? I don't give a fuck if he was having sex with your grandma in 2019 or 2012. I don't give a fuck. Why are we having this conversation? Why are we talking about him? And so we really had Hassan derangement syndrome hit a peak recently because on the Bulwark, the network The Bulwark, we had Tim Miller, who, to his credit, he came out and I think he had the proper take. He was basically saying, like, why the fuck are we talking about Hassan? There's an illegal war of aggression going on, and Donald Trump's a psychopath. He's demented. He's going to basically drag us all to hell. Like, he's destroyed the country completely. He's working on destroying the world. Let's grow up here and move the fuck on. Let's not talk about Hassan. So Tim Miller comes out and says that. Well, you have a right-wing Democrat, a diet MAGA Democrat, as I call them, Sarah Longwell. She was one of the founders of the Bulwark, I believe. And she was mad at Tim Miller, and she goes, well, we got to have this conversation on air because I don't agree with you. What followed was just one of the most frustrating conversations I think I've ever seen. So let me show you a little snippet here. Here's what she said.
It's like, what? We're picking this fight with him now? I'm just like, I could think of 1,000 other things I would rather Democrats pick fights about now. Like, why him right now?
Because he's making their life harder. It is people like Hassan are hold on. People like Hassan are making Democrats who want to take a stand against this war, right? And who want to probably take a stand against the way that Trump is just sort of like, you know, doing whatever Bibi tells him. They're trying to figure out how to do it in a way where they don't imperil the safety of Jewish people in this country. They're trying to do it in a way that is, they don't want to be anti-Semitic. And I'll tell you why Hassan is so dangerous is that what it does is it's exactly what Trump does. It's exactly what Nick Fuentes does and Tucker does. It takes maybe legitimate rage about something, and then it gives them an enemy to put it on. It gives them an outgroup to blame for it. And I think you have to be so careful with that so that you're not doing that, which starts with condemning the people who hold the same position as you for reasons that are bad, for reasons that are hostile to Jews.
Here's where I disagree. Totally disagree. It starts with condemning the fucking war and condemning Israel and condemning Bibi and condemning Trump and being passionate and clear about it. Because then what happens? Then, if you have the credibility then with the voters who were anti-war voters, who were unhappy about the way that they see the bipartisan establishment, they thought Trump was going to be their savior from this, that there was some blob in D.C., and no matter which party is in charge, we always get into stupid wars. They thought Trump was their way out of this. And now they're like, Trump's doing the same shit that all the other ones did that we said we didn't want it. He's doing it worse. And so now if the Democrats go to those people and go on those shows, they should be on those shows. Democrats should be begging Joe Rogan or Theo, whoever, to have them on right now. They should be on Manosphere shows being like, I told you, this was stupid. I didn't want to do this. This war is dumb. Our relationship with Israel is too tight. We should be reevaluating it. We should not be getting dog walked into this war. By the way, MBS also sucks, right? Like, you can do that in a way that's not anti-Semitic because it's what has happened.
He's right that the same fucking people who basically were like, we messed up by not treating Joe Rogan like a special little baby bird and going on his show and explaining things to him like he's 3 years old. They're now in retrospect, they go, we should have been open to the podcasters and the brosphere. Why wouldn't we be open to them? We're so dumb. That's how you gain the voters. You go where they are. He's got a lot of people listening. We should have went over there. Those same people are now shunning the left-wing Joe Rogan. They're going, I'm going to cancel him. I don't like him. He needs to shut up and never say anything I don't like.
Left-wing Joe Rogan. Nice.
And let me quote the worst things he ever said, but out of context, and make him sound like an absolute fucking maniac. Even though anybody who...
His quotes make him sound like a fucking maniac? Really?
He ever said, but out of context, and make him sound like an absolute fucking maniac. Even though anybody who watches his show for one fucking day or two can immediately tell you that the way they try to portray him is psychotically inaccurate. To the point where they're lying.
Any examples of that, by the way? Any actual examples of that? Do you see how it's the same Trump strategy? Like it's all of these people function the exact same way.
Are lying the way that they portray this man. So Sean says, my main takeaway from this was the revelation that Sarah has a book coming out on how to defeat MAGA when Kamala lost following her exact game plan down to campaigning with Liz Cheney. Tim Miller is the only Never Trumper who has actually truly thought about what happened in 2024.
Like, what is that, 2 or 3 personal attacks basically on Sarah? Like, she was an ex-Republican consultant for whatever people, and then was with Liz Cheney, the warmonger. Like, it's like there's no defense of Hassan. There's no engagement with anything Sarah says critically. It's just like all of these like pivots, personal attacks, never engage on substance, because these people don't have any substance. The bleach has like rotted through his skull, and there's just like nothing in there. There's literally nothing going on in there.
That's fucking incredible. So Sarah Longwell supported the idea of campaigning with Liz Cheney. Now she has the nerve to police the boundaries and the borders of the Democratic coalition. How about you go to shut the fuck upsville? How about that? How about you were dead wrong about everything? Kamala came out the gates hot as a motherfucker when her and Tim Walz were doing the rallies, and Tim Walz was making jokes about J.D. Vance, having sex with couches, and they were talking about how we're going to ban price gouging for groceries, and they came out hot and aggressive, and they went left. And at that moment, polls came out that had her up 6 points on Donald Trump. Then as soon as the Biden people infiltrated and the Never Trumpers infiltrated, and what happened? Oh, they softened the rhetoric. She stopped talking about the banning of price gouging on groceries. She started talking about having the most...
Like, I'm sorry, but no matter how you look at it, the reason why there was so much energy behind her initially was just because the Biden debate was a disaster, and it seemed like things were hopeless, and then bringing in a new person, there was just a lot of energy around that. Like, it was just a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, just because of everything that was going on. The idea that, oh my God, they were so popular because they were so far to the left, but then when they started coming back to the center, that's why they lost their momentum. It's so stupid. It's such an unserious, so stupid.
Lethal military in the world. She had on...
nobody was listening to Kamala say that and think, oh my God, she really said that? That we should have a lethal military? I want the U.S. military to be weak and impotent. Like, it's so stupid.
She started talking about having the most lethal military in the world. She had on, she was out there with Liz Cheney all the time, which, by the way, netted her fucking 0 voters, probably lost more voters. Like, for fuck's sake, hello, this is the Democratic Party. Most of us lived through the fucking Bush years, and we saw the horrors, and we hated the fucking neocon warmongers, and your brilliant idea was to bring a
Remember, this is a guy who said openly that he didn't vote for Biden in 2020, and then made a strong endorsement for Jill Stein in 2024, by the way. But,
neocon warmonger and say, I'm with these people who you fucking hate. And so the fact that she has the nerve to go out there and she's policing it. Bitch, you got here yesterday. You got to the coalition yesterday. Are you kidding me? Okay. We also have this. It's Politics says, and people wonder why some Never Trump Republicans are not the best allies. Listen to Sarah Longwell. She came yesterday to the Democratic Party, and maybe she doesn't agree with the majority of positions of the base, like Medicare for all, taxing the rich, and decoupling from Israel, but she gets to pick and choose what people are in the tent. Get the fuck out of here. So here's another clip that went viral. Here we go.
Should he be in the tent or out of the tent is a question of okay, who is this guy? What does he believe? What does he talk about on what is a relatively popular streaming site? And I'll just give you a flavor of some of the things.
Here come the smears. Here come the out of context quotes. Let's get it.
Things that pop up.
I'm sure he's going to give additional context to every quote that comes up too. Please. Okay.
From Hassan's critics that I have seen and that I think are quite terrible. So America deserved 9/11, dude.
It's the CIA concept of fucking blowback is what he's talking about. No, he's not pro Al-Qaeda, pro Osama bin Laden.
Okay, so you're just justifying the quote then. It's not out of context, no? By the way, it's a semi-defensible quote. I've said as much. Of all the edgy Hassan takes, you can defend it. But that's not out of context then. That's what he thinks, right? Is that America engaged in actions that warranted or that basically led to 9/11, right?
Laden, pro-terrorist attack against civilians in the United States. And the only reason why you're implying that's the case is because you're an Islamophobic hag bitch.
Oh, she's Islamophobic. Oh, that's why we hate Hassan, because she's Islamophobic. Oh.
His name is Hassan, so you think you can get away with a quick one by pretending.
Oh, that's why. Oh, because his name is Hassan.
He's pro-terrorism. No, in fact, on his show,
he's literally pro-terrorism. He interviews terrorists and sucks them off. He literally was talking about how based Hezbollah and Nasrallah were, and how he was talking about how Hamas are freedom fighters and blah, blah, blah. Like, gee, we've seen the streams, dog. Holy shit.
talks out against terrorism daily. Okay, this is why he covers the genocide in Gaza, where they're murking civilians on a daily basis, because he's anti-terrorism. He doesn't want any harm to be done to any fucking civilians. And the fact that you didn't realize he's referring to the CIA concept of blowback says everything about you and fucking nothing about him. Jesus Christ.
On China, he says, we hyper-focus on the social repression.
Like, this is like, he's playing like Trump's strongest defender, right, for Hassan. This is like a Jack Posobiec or Sean Hannity tier defense of Trump, except it's Kyle Kalinske for Hassan.
And fucking nothing about him. Jesus Christ.
On China, he says, we hyper-focus on the social repression or the civil liberties, or not even civil liberties necessarily, but free speech and things like that. But in terms of good governance, there's a lot we can learn from the way they perform out there. At least they...
That's just literally factually correct. That's like not even arguable. That's not even...
Or not even civil liberties necessarily, but free speech and things like that. But in terms of good governance, there's a lot we can learn from the way they perform out there. At least they...
That's just literally factually correct. That's like not even arguable.
Okay, so that's the second. So you don't disagree with that one. Okay. You don't disagree with that one then. Okay.
Well, that's not even debatable. They have all these fucking beautiful high-speed trains where they built out all of the infrastructure since like 2008 until today. It's a fucking modern marvel of engineering. It's phenomenal. That's the shit he's talking about. Hey, look at the high-speed trains. Look at the state-of-the-art airports. Look at how their mid-level cities now mog the shit out of our fucking top-level cities. That's what he's talking about.
Well, in what ways? I mean,
you're trying to...
Like, in some ways, yeah, sure. There are European places that do this as well. But is that really the guy who got the little red book from his state-sponsored CCP tour guide? That's the only thing he's talking about with regards to China?
Make some banal, factual observation like controversial and unacceptable. This is the sort of cancel culture bullshit that all you idiots said you would stop doing after the 2024 election, and yet here we are.
And he has a lot of very pro-China takes.
Oh, he's able to call a spade a spade? Don't you know we're supposed to shut our brains off and say and everything ever about China is evil and wrong and bad?
There's one that he says was a little bit taken out of context, but he says doesn't matter if
Okay, so that's another one. So far, nothing has been taken out of context. Kyle Kalinske just agrees with everything that's been said, okay?
Yep. Fucking evil and wrong and bad?
There's one that he says was a little bit taken out of context, but he says doesn't matter if the fucking rapes happened on October 7th.
When you admit before you do the smear that, well, this one's out of context. How did you let those words come out of your mouth?
But do you see why it's never worth it with these types of malicious actors? There is you can't make a concession that's good enough to say anything, right? He doesn't actually care that she would qualify that, right? There's no point in hedging or qualifying. It literally doesn't matter because they'll still get you on it, right?
Oh my days. How did you let that escape your mouth? Well, I know this one's like a smear and it's totally out of context, but I'm going to try it anyway. Oh my God. His point was that wouldn't justify a genocide. Even if there were rapes on October 7th. That doesn't then justify carpet bombing babies. That doesn't justify murdering untold numbers of civilians, shooting people who wave white flags, starving people to death, bombing World Central Kitchen workers and hospitals and schools. Okay? That is the most banal observation I think I've ever heard. Like, who would say, if a bad thing happens here, you're allowed to genocide them back? No, that's not a thing. That was his point. I don't know why, like, again, people, they clip chimp and clip farm and think like...
Is that not what she is about to go on to say? Didn't she say that it's a little bit out of context? And does she go on to provide that context? Is that...
this is gonna get him. It's not gonna fucking get him. And again, all you have to do, and I'm not even kidding about this, watch one day of Hassan's stream. 2 at most.
There's a guy who watched Hassan's stream for 7 days. We watched that video.
And you'll walk away going, they've been lying about literally everything about this man the entire time.
True.
Like, they're just lying. They're just lying. I know what he believes. I've seen enough of him talk. I don't need you to take these out of fucking context clips and play the gotcha game and you think that that's going to change my opinion on what I've seen with my own 2 fucking eyes.
That doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people can't contend with. Like the Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets. I don't know what that means. He says Hamas is 1,000 times better than Israel.
Literally, he's talking about math. How many people died on October 7th? Like, what, 2,000? And what's the minimum number they talk about now?
Like, so it's not out of context. Also, nobody in the entire history of the planet thinks of conflict like this. This is, by the way, well, I was going to say, it's not really a neo-Nazi argument. Like, everybody who wants to be a disingenuous will use this argument. But this is an argument that people will say, oh, well, actually, the true victims of the war were how many Germans were killed, you know, when the Allies invaded, and look how many people died in the Dresden bombings and all this shit. Like, these are the arguments these people make. You never measure this in terms of just raw death. It doesn't make any sense. If somebody does I said this before, if somebody does a terrorist attack on your country and kills 5,000 civilians, you don't think like, okay, well, I'm going to go to war with them, but once we've killed 5,000, we're done, because it's got to be equal exchange. Like, what the fuck is this? This is such a stupid fucking argument. Like, it's such a brain dead. I can't even believe. I don't even know why I'm saying this.
Like, what, 2,000? And what's the minimum number they talk about now on how many are dead in Gaza? 70,000, 80,000. In reality, I think it's like at least 200,000. By the way, for the record, that's what I think.
Okay, that's true. 200. Yes, true, King.
It is at least 200,000. But let's go with the low number of like 70,000. It's a mathematical reality that 70,000 innocent people being murdered by the Israeli government is...
Even, by the way, even Hamas doesn't make that claim, that all 70,000 are innocent. Even Hamas doesn't make that claim. I like how Kalinski's giving this as like the lower bound number when he's still exaggerating so much out of it. But okay, buddy.
A much higher number than about 2,000 being killed by Hamas on October 7th. That's the point. Are you now going to proceed to argue against math? Is that what you're going to do?
Oh, it's just math. It's just simple math. It's just math. It's just math.
Please try. Let me see how that works out for you.
On Hezbollah, he said, overall, what's my favorite flag? Hezbollah. Look it up. I'm not even kidding. It's actually a dope flag. It's got an AK on it and a fucking hand holding
and
it.
Tim Miller is laughing. Why? Because when you talk about something like this, it's literally just how a flag looks. That's a fucking joke, okay? And that's why...
What's the joke, though? What's funny? What's the joke? Notice how... It's so funny because I said at the start of this, I said, I wonder if Kalinski is going to actually give an example, because nobody ever does. To Kalinski's credit, he actually is going through them one at a time. But notice how he hasn't actually disagreed on a single example that it was taken out of context. He actually is defending or saying that all of them are correct. So nothing is actually out of context here. He just agrees with all of it.
Tim Miller is laughing. Again, what? Like, they're trying so fucking hard and they're getting absolutely nothing. And by the way, don't take Hassan's word for it. There was an article that came out in the Telegraph, which they deleted because it got a little too close to the truth. And in that article, they spoke to Christians in Lebanon who were like, oh yeah, we got no problem with Hezbollah. They protect us from the psychotic Israelis.
What, like, you think that's the average opinion of somebody in, like, central and northern Lebanon? They're like, oh, we love Hezbollah. Yes, we love Hezbollah living down here. Thank God. If it wasn't for Hezbollah, Israel would be attacking us every single day and blowing us up and killing us. Oh, my God. Well,
they thought we're going to go talk to the Christians in Lebanon, and they're all going to say, Hezbollah's evil and wrong, and they're bad, and they're terrorists, and they're rapists, and they're this, and they're that. And they were like, oh, no, they actually protect us from the Israelis, and they do Christmas celebrations, and they put up a Christmas tree, and they're all very nice to us. Like...
ABL Energy. Anthony Brian Logan. That guy was like, actually, in the South, the KKK, you know, they brought my family Christmas presents. Remember that argument? Oh my God.
And like, I know that sort of the whole thing about being a right-winger is that you're a fucking idiot and you're incredibly ignorant about the world. But this is really something. You think you're in the Democratic tent and this is how you talk? You think you're in the Democratic tent? Please.
On Dan Crenshaw losing an eye in Afghanistan. What the fuck is wrong with this dude? I also dislike Dan Crenshaw, but I would not say this. Didn't he go to war and like literally lose his eye because of some mujahideen, a brave fucking soldier, fucked his eye hole with their dick?
Okay, fuck Crenshaw. That's all I have to say about one. Fuck Crenshaw. But also, it was not out of context, okay?
All right, y'all. New Kyle rule. You're allowed to say whatever the fuck you want to say to joke about how evil Republican politicians are. There are literally no lines when joking about how evil Republican politicians are. And if you have a problem with it, there's this little thing called free speech that I'm going to introduce you to. And by the way, as you're about to see here, Tim Miller is laughing at this one as well.
Because of some mujahideen, a brave fucking soldier, fucked his eye hole with their dick. On Israel being full of inbreds.
This is supposed to make people not like him? This is supposed to make people not like him. Oh my God. This next one too, this is another sad attempt at a guy. You ready?
You are left with a country that is packed to the fucking gills with the most inbred, uneducated, ultra-nationalist, rabid, Haredi population. On Russia's annexation...
Okay, so he's talking about the ultra-Orthodox, right? This is an
annexation.
Okay.
Uneducated.
A guy, you ready?
You are left with a country that is packed to the fucking gills with the most inbred.
A country that is packed to the fucking gills. Packed to the fucking gills. What does that mean? Like 1% of the population? What does that sound like when somebody says this country's packed to the fucking gills with... what percentage of the population would you just guess that as?
Uneducated, ultra-nationalist, rabid, Haredi population. On Russia's annexation...
Okay, so he's talking about the ultra-Orthodox, right? This is another Kyle rule. Sorry if this one offends people out there. You are allowed to joke around about how stupid and evil every single fundamentalist religious group is. No, you're not going to push us into the corner. You're not allowed to say that. I will say whatever the fuck I want about fundamentalist Christians and fundamentalist Muslims and fundamentalist Jews. Fundamentalists are fucking weird, dog. They're weird, they're fucked up, they're strange, they dress funny, they smell. There's a whole lot of... All the fundamentalists of all the different religions are fucking creepy. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. I'm secular, bro. I'm secular. People can live however they want to live, but I'm allowed to have opinions about that. And
all of them? Even George Floyd? Just kidding. What do you say? He might, actually. I don't know, because he's an atheist guy. Does he say the same about any of the Muslims ever? Because I wonder if he would call that Islamophobic.
I'm allowed to joke about that. And that's what Hassan was doing when he was calling them inbred. Okay? Like, again, I'm so sick of the fake outrage. I'm so fucking sick of it. Where we have a demented president, likely has Alzheimer's, who's this close to nuking an entire country of 90 million people, and we're supposed to talk about Hassan Piker's jokes and be outraged? I can't, bro.
Annexation of Crimea was absolutely a justifiable annexation. What do you call Crimea? I call...
Oh, man. How does he do this one? Whoo! Whew. So far, nothing out of context, just funny jokes and defensible stuff, but okay, go ahead. Whew, okay. Kyle, you can do this. Remember your Jill Stein endorsement, okay?
I can't, bro.
Annexation of Crimea was absolutely a justifiable annexation. What do you call Crimea? I call it part of Russian territory, bitch. I call it Crimea River, a Russian river. The annexation of...
Look, he's joking. Now, to be fair,
he's joking. What do you mean he's joking? He's not. He's defended the opinion like a few days ago. What part of it? What is that a joke? What's the joke? What's funny? What's the joke there? What is he joking about?
Absolutely was incorrect with his prediction.
Oh my God, I was going to make this prediction that he would say this. Oh, but I didn't think he actually would. Fuck, I was going to say this. This would have been a pre-watch moment. I was going to say, Kyle Kalinske is going to say that Hassan actually walked back this statement because he was wrong about the invasion of Ukraine. But that has nothing to do with this. I didn't make that prediction because I didn't think he would actually say something so stupid. It's such a dumb thing to say. That has nothing to do with this claim. It's a totally different thing.
The annexation of...
Look, he's joking. Now, to be...
Because it doesn't matter because Crimea was invaded in 2014, Kyle, not in 2022. Crimea had already been invaded. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to say he walked back the Crimea joke.
Fair, he absolutely was incorrect with his prediction of what would happen. He thought that Russia was not going to invade Ukraine, which he was wrong, by the way. Pat myself on the back on that one. I kind of thought they were. I didn't understand why people were going out on a limb and saying, like, they're not going to invade. Well, then why are they doing the troop buildup on the border?
What do you mean you don't understand it? You're too stupid to understand your own side? The reason why people were saying it is because people like Hassan hate America. That's the entire perspective they have. So the idea that Russia was going to invade from Hassan's perspective, you can listen to stream, he talks about this. It was U.S. State Department propaganda designed to make people in the West hate Russia. That's it. It was bullshit. It was U.S. State Department propaganda to make Russia look like an unhinged aggressor. That's it. That was the rationale.
Right. So I think he was factually wrong about that. He would admit he was factually wrong about that. But this just sort of sounds like jokes. And I think at this point, Hassan, if you were to ask him, I think he would say, no, Ukraine has every right to defend themselves. And
this is 3 days ago?
What is this? The Ukraine takes galore? Buddy, no one fucking cares. The irony is like my Crimea position is like established as fact now, okay? I don't know why there are still like Ukrainian influencers that are like, oh, it's our opportunity to fucking once again talk about Hassan and claim he's like super fucking pro Vladimir Putin or whatever.
I also just like this framing of like, God, like, are we still talking about Ukraine, Russia? Meanwhile, every fucking day.
This is a lost cause. In some ways, it's identical to...
This is a lost cause, the lost cause of Crimea that's been taken for 10 years or 12 years. Meanwhile, Israel-Palestine, that's definitely not a lost cause. One more Arab war. One more terrorist attack, and Israel's going down.
The way people talk about Israel and like defending Israel in the Western world, you know? It's so ridiculous, okay?
Thank you, Kalinske. He absolutely walked this take back. Thank you for that one, Kalinske. True.
Ukraine. Well, then why are they doing the troop buildup on the border, right? So I think he was factually wrong about that. He would admit he was factually wrong about that. But this just sort of sounds like jokes. And I think at this point, Hassan, if you were to ask him, I think he would say, no, Ukraine has every right to defend themselves. And Ukraine in this
That's not the question, though. That's not even what was being asked, but okay.
Instance are the victims and Russia is the imperialist aggressor. I think he would admit this because it's true. Right?
No, he wouldn't.
It's true. In this scenario, like Russia is Israel and Ukraine are the Palestinians. And so if you support...
Almost as bad as the comparison to Iran, but okay, buddy.
Fighting oppression, you would back the Ukrainians, right?
Black people care about the border. I don't give a fuck what black people care about. Black people care about this. Black people care about
this. Is like completely out of context. If my
Oh, wait, what's the context on this one?
memory serves me right, he was going after Black MAGA, being like, oh.
What? I thought he was annoyed by black liberals that were playing too much into the identity politics because he wanted to focus on the class-related stuff.
When it comes to
Oh, 2 minutes. Okay, hopefully this has enough.
when it comes to black folks, you really don't want to talk about us unless it comes from voting. When is the last time you spoke about Sudan? I'm gonna fucking ether you.
Sudan. Now, to be fair, conservatives, Black MAGA is really up on Sudan. That's like a big thing for them. Like you guys have heard them, right? Black MAGA always complains about like the conditions in Sudan and stuff.
When it comes to black folks, you really don't want to talk about us unless it comes from voting. When is the last time you spoke about Sudan? I'm gonna fucking ether you. Any other black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this fucking chat? Suck my fucking cock, okay? You stupid fucking radlib. Get the fuck out of here.
Radlib, I think, is a slur we use for MAGA, right? Radlib, I think, is a slur we use for MAGA. Radlib, right?
A fucking cock, okay? You stupid fucking radlib. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my chat. Fucking stupid, moronic, fucking radlib nonsense. Suck my fucking dick. Fuck you.
Okay. Hold on, a minute and a half. More context. There's more context.
You think you have a pass in here to fucking speak like this? Get the fuck out of here.
Hold on, it's coming. The context is coming. I promise.
Dumb fuck. You think I'm gonna fucking baby you?
Wait for it. Hold on.
Go ahead. Go post a fucking clip about how much of a fucking white supremacist I am. Suck my dick.
Yeah, he's definitely talking to a conservative there. It's coming. Hold on.
Annoying. Dumb fuck. God damn, dude. This kind of attitude is so insanely repulsive. Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? We're talking about fucking creating a larger, broad, people-backed movement and fucking creating solidarity, and you immediately got Root.com article regurgitators in here instantly being like...
Root.com, very popular far-right publication, by the way.
Sweetie, you don't understand black people. Shut the fuck up. God damn.
Always set me on fire.
That attitude left a long fucking time ago. It doesn't work, okay? Keep advocating for your own fucking demise then. Fucking standpoint theory ass motherfuckers. Oh my God.
Standpoint epistemology, well-known right-wing. Hold on, wait. Somebody said this was not the same black people quote. Was this a different black people quote? Hold on. Oh, wait. I don't know if he brought up the border thing in that one. Wait, this is a different black person clip. Hold on, wait. Sorry.
Like it or not, black people care about the border. Man, shut the fuck up. Black people care about the border. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, he's watching, this is a MAGA rally, I think, that... Who's speaking in the background?
Like it or not, black people care about the border. Man, shut...
I think it's Candace Owens.
Like it or not, black people care about the border. Man, shut the fuck up. Black people care about the border. I don't give a fuck what black people care about. The Democratic Party literally is going to
Wait, he misspoke. He meant Republican Party, I think.
Fucking lose. Even if they don't lose, move the country to a significantly more right-wing position. Oh, black people care about this. Black people care about that. Like, shut the fuck up. That's not how politics works. I hate that. I hate this, like, shield. Okay? I hate this fucking idiotic shield, okay? Oh, well, Hassan, how dare you? Like it or not, black people care about this issue. It's like, it's such a fucking stupid stance, okay? It's such an idiot stance, okay? It's such an idiotic stance. Nobody operates like this, okay? Black people don't operate like this either. Shut the fuck up. Stop using this as a fucking shield. Liberals are fucking racist. Okay, he was just... memeing around, I guess. Liberals are fucking racist? Oh, I thought this guy was joking. You seriously think there are no racist liberals? No, I think that there are a shit ton of racist liberals. What is wrong with you? Take your fucking meds, man.
I love how Kalinsky can just fucking lie.
And so if you support fighting oppression, you would back the Ukrainians, right?
Black people care about the border. I don't give a fuck what black people care about. Black people care about this. Black people care about
this. Is like completely out of context. If my memory serves me right, he was going after Black MAGA, being like, "Oh, I don't care what," because there's some black people who are hard right wingers. That's supposed to like stop me from opposing them. Like, fuck that. I don't care what these black people think of it. That's what he meant.
Like, it's so funny because you got to wonder. The thing that I like about, I've always said this, lying is more interesting than telling the truth. Because somebody tells you the truth, they're just telling you what they think. But when somebody lies, like, why would you lie about this? Where did the lie come from? I'm so curious. Did Hassan tell him this? Did his audience tell him this? Did he make this lie up on his own? I don't think I've ever seen this particular lie before. Why would he be confident enough? He prepared the segment for the stream, right? He watched this in advance. So why would he be confident enough to just completely and totally flat out fucking lie about the context of this, where this comes from? Okay, huge retard question. I'm sorry, Destiny. Isn't the question about black people caring about the border talking to Black MAGA in a sense? Like, yes, it's still retarded to say, I don't care what the ethnic portion of the voting bloc think in regards to the election, but Black MAGA would be swayed by a strong border right. No. The issue is, remember, progressives think that every single person in the country would agree with their policy platform, or tankies now, socialists think they would agree with them if they just knew well enough what the policy platform was. But the issue is that a lot of people wouldn't agree with that platform. And even ethnic minorities, of which progressives and then socialists have always said are like their number one champions, are really not in step with a lot of this. So like, they want their neighborhoods to be policed, believe it or not. Even black communities had a majority positive view of wanting police neighborhoods. The idea of like abolish all cops and get rid of the police forces, or any of these other, or like fuck, who cares about anything that happens on the border? That's just not true. Black people, Hispanic people, all these other people care about drugs in their neighborhoods and crime and border shit and illegal immigrants and all that. They all care about this stuff too. That was what was being brought up. Kamala Harris had to speak to the border issue. Unfortunately, because Republicans managed to make it a massive fucking talking point. And Hassan is like, well, we shouldn't care about this. Who the fuck cares? But like, yeah, even minorities in the United States care about stuff like this. And that's what Hassan was speaking to. I don't give a fuck what black minorities think about in the U.S. You need to get on board with our class issues. You nincompoop.
And again, she's trying to frame it like he's racist against all black people. It's just, this is so try hard.
That, like, shut the fuck up. That's not how politics work. And then, I don't know if this is I don't know how to, I'm not going to rank these, but this one's a real doozy. Date rape is better if it happens to rich women. If you have these fucking billionaire, WASP fail sons, at least taking them out of other colleges so they can only do date rape to other millionaire failed daughters is in some respects, from a utilitarian perspective.
I like how Tim Miller's just taking this all in.
Of course, a little bit better. Okay, Piker told off a listener who condemned the massacre on October 7th, a bloodthirsty, violent pig dog suck my dick. Okay, so that's the guy. That's the guy. I do not think any Democrat should look to include him in their coalition. And here's the thing. You mentioned my book at the top. I just wrote a whole book that is going to come out in September. It is 300 pages. It's called How to Eat an Elephant One Voter at a Time. It is 300 pages about how you build a winning coalition.
You gave Kamala bad advice. You are the last person we should listen to.
That recommends cozying up to people like Hassan Piker. I talk a lot about big tents. I talk a lot about pro-democracy coalition. But here's the thing. Hassan Piker doesn't actually belong in the pro-democracy coalition.
She's doing the takfir. You're not a real Democrat. When she came yesterday to this party.
Illiberal guy. He's a China-Russia sympathizer who hates women, hates Israel. Like, he's all the toxic things. And I think, and I was listening to you last night, and I was like, my biggest problem with it, because I agree with you in some places, my biggest problem with it is I felt like you were soft selling who this guy is.
No, you're smearing him and you're lying about him. Now, finally.
So basically nothing that was said was out of context. Kalinsky has admitted that in defending almost everything. The one thing that he said was out of context, Kalinsky is just lying about. He just lied about what the background to the clip was, but okay.
Let's get to the heart of the matter here, the real truth of the situation. This is what Sarah Longwell really believes. Here we go.
But here was the thing about the cheering that I loved. Speaking of Stonewall, but also...
I should point out, this was just before the election, right before the election, okay?
So I think it's amazing when you get 75,000 presumably libs on the ellipse, and she's like, we're going to have the most lethal fighting force, and people are like, yeah!
So she loves it when Kamala sounds more like a warmonger than Trump.
Having a lethal fighting force is not being a warmonger. The United States military, whether you're pro or anti-war, should be a lethal fighting force. Like, that's important that we're able to protect ourselves, to protect our allies, to protect trade routes, whether we're talking the Strait of Hormuz, which really shouldn't be in question, or up to the Suez, the Red Sea, or whatever the fuck, that the Yemeni fuckers were bombing, right? Like, it's important to have a lethal military. The idea that makes you a warmonger is just stupid. He's just stupid.
That's what she's describing here. So presumably, it stands to logical deduction. She would hate it if Kamala was out there like, I'm anti-war. We're not going to go to war with Iran, right? We're not going to, keep arming and funding Israel as they do a genocide. I'm against war.
Like, Kamala was calling for a total ceasefire. That wasn't enough for these guys because, like I said, you can never make enough concessions for these people. And if you think that Kamala would be at war with Iran in the way that Trump is, you're delusional. I'm sorry, you're just delusional.
She would not like that. She's not.
Destiny, do you think it's safe to say that Kyle is a full-on anti-dem rat fucker at this point? I've been saying this for over a year, but my audience doesn't believe me on it, but whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, no, Kyle Kalinski's always been like fucking permanently brain broken on everything. Domestically, he's okay, but especially as soon as foreign anything gets involved, the Jill Stein chip activates in his brain, and he just becomes the most retarded motherfucker in the universe.
Done though. Tell us more.
It's lethal fighting force, and people are like, yeah, and she's like, and we're gonna secure the border, and people are like, yeah.
So defeating MAGA by doing MAGA. Defeating MAGA by taking their policies and doing them, but like do them more liberally.
We are going to be leaders in the world, and we're not going to let these guys push us around. And I was like, man, the world's really changed.
Did the neocons just take over the Democratic Party?
Don't say that.
Yeah, don't say it.
Did the neocons just take over the Democratic Party? Ha 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 ha! Don't say that. You're putting a little too much truth out there about how.
Like, the funny thing is that, like, one of the nice things about Kamala's campaign was that ideally we were taking back some things that were seen as exclusively Republican. Like, one of the nice talking points, and I think it was a nice talking point, was at the Trump rallies, the flags that they were waving were like, send all the immigrants home or whatever. But at the Kamala rally, there were a lot of American flags. For whatever reason, as sad as it is, being pro your military people and being pro America and being patriotic are like co-opted by the right wing. And it was nice to fight back on that territory a little bit. I think that was a good thing, but
we want the Democratic Party to be, how we want them to be. Diet MAGA. That's what this is. Diet fucking MAGA. In the same way it's diet neoconservatism from the George W. Bush era. Okay? So you want the Democrats to be more right wing. That's what you want.
Look, man, she's leaning into, I'm going mainstream. And, whenever she does, there's a couple, price gouging or whatever. I'm like, boo. But like,
so one of the best parts of Kamala's campaign.
One of the most retarded parts of Kamala's campaign. But again, these people only support retard policy, but okay.
When she was up 6 points and she was talking about how she's going to ban price gouging for groceries.
This was never the reason why shit was getting expensive. This delusional take from lefties that the only reason anything is expensive in the United States is because all these corporations are price gouging us infinitely. And that's it. If we just ban price gouging, everything will be cheap again. We'll get rid of all the inflation. It's okay.
She was booing that. Pro-war and pro-price gouging. And she's the one who's going to police the borders of the Democratic coalition. Are you fucking kidding? Have you no fucking shame? So as Ryan Grimm points out, quote, whenever Kamala Harris does something like price gouging, I'm like, boo, but also whatever. Sarah Longwell, former Republican political operative, boasting that her faction has made Democrats more hawkish, and the cost of that is to once in a while have to hear something they don't like about corporate price gouging. It is one thing to be pro-price gouging because you are a corporate lobbyist. I understand that. But to try to pitch it as something that makes Democrats more electable is comical. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman is a fucking idiot. You know what happens?
It's one thing to be pro-price gouging. True.
Happens when Democratic politicians listen to Hassan Piker? Zoran Mamdani happens. That's how. Kyle, that's only.
Remember when Zoran was solely elected because of Hassan Piker campaigning for him?
In fucking New York, and that can't happen anywhere else. We'll see. Okay. All right. So Leah Greenberg, who is one of the co-founders of the organization behind the No Kings protest, she says, personally, I am team #Big Tent, but if we're going to start kicking people out of the party on brand/moral grounds, I would like to nominate, number one, the foreign policy team behind the Gaza genocide, and number two, every Dem former elected/staffer who takes a cushy job with an overtly evil company. That includes fucking Kalshi, that includes AI companies, that includes crypto companies, that includes Wall Street, that includes big oil. Here's what she's saying. Oh, are we really going to police these the boundaries and the borders of the Democratic coalition? Well, let's start with the pro-genocide motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Let's start with that, okay?
True.
And let's start with the corrupt sellouts who take big money from the Epstein class. And she's exactly fucking right.
True.
That's who gets kicked the fuck out of the coalition. The people who are diet MAGA Democrats because they just genuinely agree with the right.
Diet MAGA, Epstein class, Hassan derangement syndrome. Like, you want to talk about MAGA light? Here it is, right here.
I'm sorry, but if you're not on the left, you're not with us. We need to have some defining principles and defining policies on what it means to be in this coalition. And from my perspective, you need to be center-left, liberal, leftist, independent, or apolitical. Like, that's it. If you're right of center, sorry, not interested. And the fact of the matter is there are way more of us than there are of them.
But there are so many of them. Trust me, there's so many of them.
People who fit into the coalition I just described, then fit into MAGA or any kind of right-wing coalition. And then finally, here's Ro Khanna, and he's asked about this, and I think he does a pretty good job sort of putting into perspective how stupid this entire conversation is. Here we go.
You have made several appearances on a show hosted by socialist commentator Hassan Piker. Some of your fellow Democrats, though, have raised alarms about his views. Here are two members of a left-leaning think tank. This is how they put it. They wrote, quote, "No left-wing agitator is more influential and extreme than Twitch streamer Hassan Piker. He's referred to ultra-Orthodox Jews as inbred, employed anti-Semitic dog whistles, bloodthirsty violence."
Epic. Epic. And you know what? Fuck the Orthodox Jews. It is pretty epic. But I guarantee you that if anybody were to make a comment like this about literally any fucking Arab person, of which I'm pretty sure there are countries where just because of how closely knit all of the fucking genetic ancestry is, like, you can make arguments for high degrees of fucking inbreeding or whatever the fuck, depending on where you qualify it. I'm guarantee you that Kalinsky would call this Islamophobic. 100,000,000%.
Pig dog against an anti-Hamas viewer of his stream, compared liberal Zionists to liberal Nazis, and said,
"This is so dishonest how they're framing it."
Hamas is 1,000 times better than the Israeli state. Now, Hassan Piker,
again, mathematically speaking, yes, the death numbers, but okay, let's just fucking smear him. Anyway, let's listen to his response.
Some of his comments have been taken out of context, but he largely stands by them. Do you have any regrets about appearing on his show?
None, and I would go again. But I, of course, condemn those comments. I mean, I've described Hamas as a terrorist state, and we need to unequivocally condemn anti-Semitism. But Hassan Piker was at the DNC in 2024, covering Vice President Harris. What should the standard of the Democrats be? Should we not go on Theo Vaughn? Should we not go on Sean Ryan? Should we not go on Joe Rogan? Should we just have these purity tests of canceling folks? The lesson of the last election is we've got to be out there. We've got to engage. It's a complex, messy, multiracial democracy. I will defend my views, but the people who are saying don't engage will cost us future elections.
I think he handled that well. I mean, look, if I was sitting in the chair, I would have taken head on a lot of the lies and smears that were directed at Hassan about how they're just flat out lying about this guy and his beliefs.
Lying, yeah.
But I understand that as a politician, he's in a slightly different situation. But I think he handled that well to say, it was 7 minutes ago that all you idiots were saying we're going to go on all the podcasts, we're going to talk to all the people, we're going to try to win over everybody. Now all of a sudden, you're shunning the left flank. So apparently, the outreach to expand the tent only cut to the right, which meant what? All you idiots are just trying to make the party more right-wing, which has been the fucking problem.
By the way, if you look at polling in the Democratic Party, most Democrats want the party to moderate a bit, like it's like 80%. Or 80 or 90% think it's either where it should be or want them to moderate a bit more. It's like 10% are these extreme left people. But
all along, the further left you go, the more you'll win. And the more you'll actually stand for something from a moral perspective and an ethical perspective.
The morality.
Right? The more you'll actually be good people.
Of course.
And by the way, the further left you go, the harder you oppose MAGA.
Wow.
So I'm tired of the diet MAGA bullshit. I'm tired of the Hassan derangement syndrome. And I need everybody to wake up and realize what's going on here.
California influencer embraced by Dems went on racist anti-Asian rant. Remember, it will never be the call for deplatforming Hassan, and it will always be the call for using him to attack the Democrats, because the Republicans know how insanely important it is to keep him around. This is why Hassan is never going to be banned from any platform. He's never going to be demonetized on any platform. Ted Cruz was tweeting about it earlier. A Democrat candidate for Senate in Michigan thinks it's politically advantageous to campaign with a Marxist Islamist who believes America deserved 9/11. This is today's Democrat Party. Democrat spokesperson Hassan Piker goes off on a Vietnamese refugee who escaped communism.
Suffering under
We watch this. But.
the communist regime, and we believe that...
Okay, fuck you, dude. I mean, seriously, fuck you, old lady. Shut the fuck up, you stupid fucking idiotic old lady with your stupid fucking gamer headset. Who has fucked you harder, America or fucking Ho Chi Minh? Suck my dick, old lady. God damn, dude. Yo, fuck this refugee, okay? Seriously. Fuck this South Vietnamese motherfucking whatever, like Christian supremacist psychotic fucking refugee living in America now and able to talk that shit. Why don't you go back and live in fucking South Vietnam in the same conditions if that's your perspective? Be careful, be careful. No, I
like how the RNC research account calls him Democrat spokesperson. Okay. Jesus Christ.
That's wild.
What did you do at Cinderella, the stream 24/7?
All right, guys. I think that is it for me tonight. A little tired. Not too much going on. So I'm going to finish up a little earlier than usual. We'll see you all on Friday. Everybody have a beautiful time. Bye.